The meeting will please come to order. Good evening, everyone. My name is Trippy Congo, President of Wilmington City Council. On behalf of all of my colleagues, I just want to thank you for joining us. Thank you to those of you who are in council chambers, and if anyone's with us virtually, thank you also. Today is Thursday, February the 5th. We are going to start with an opening prayer by Mary Elena Rivera.
Heavenly Father, we have assembled to handle the affairs of our city. As we do so, we ask for your guidance and understanding. We pray that our city reaches a place of peace and safety. Keep us out of harm's way and bless those who are in authority. Let respect be key in all our endeavors. Padre Celestial, nos hemos reunido para manejar los asuntos de nuestra ciudad. Al hacerlo, le pedimos su orientación y comprensión. Oramos para que nuestra ciudad alcance un lugar de paz y seguridad, que nos mantenga fuera del peligro y bendecir a los que están en autoridad. Que el respeto sea clave en todos nuestros esfuerzos. Amén.
Amen. We will now have the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilwoman Owens.
Present.
Councilwoman Darby. Councilwoman Oliver.
Present.
Councilwoman Harley.
Present.
Councilwoman Willauer.
Present.
Councilwoman McCoy.
Here.
Councilman Johnson.
Here.
Councilman Field.
Present.
Councilwoman Bracy.
Here.
Councilwoman Cabrera. Councilman Hackett. Councilman Spadola.
Present.
President Congo.
Here.
10 present and 3 absent.
Thank you. At this time, we will have the reading of the minutes from our previous meeting.
January 15th, 2025, City Council met in regular session with remote participation on the above date at 6:32 p.m. President Ernest M. Congo II presiding.
Mr. President, I move that the minutes be accepted as written.
Second.
It's been properly moved and second the minutes be accepted as written. On the question, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. And we do not have any committee reports this evening. So we will move to our city treasurer's report.
February 5th, 2026, total investments, $575,729,055.46. Total cash on hand, $18,132,918.51. Grant total, $593,861,973.97. Submitted City Treasurer Dwayne Sims.
I move the treasurer's report be received, recorded, and filed.
Second.
It's been properly moved and second the report be received, recorded, and filed. On the question, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. I will now accept a motion to move to accept all non-legislative business.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
It's been properly moved and second to accept all non-legislative business. On the question, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. Just as a quick reminder for anyone who is in council chambers, if you would like to make public comment, and if you haven't signed up yet, you still have a few more minutes to do so. The sign-up sheet is right before the double doors. For those of you who are with us virtually, if you would like to make public comment, there is a Google Form sign-up link in the chat. Public comment will take place after non-legislative business. I believe Council Member Oliver.
Yes. I'd like April and her staff and whoever's here to support her to come up from Parent Parenthood. And I'd like to thank all the individuals from Parent Parenthood. They've been waiting for about 3 months to come get this because it's been one thing after another. So come over here, April. Really appreciate y'all being patient. And the sponsors of this would be Latish Bracey, Councilman Michelle Harley, Councilman Xanthia Oliver, and Councilmember Kobe Owens. Okay. Thank you, April, for coming up. Okay, whereas it's the Census City Council to honor individuals and organizations who have demonstrated outstanding achievement and deserving of recognition and acknowledgement. The 60 years celebration of signing of the Medicaid and Medicare Act is one of such. In 1965, President Lyndon Johnson signed the Medicare and Medicaid Act, also known as Social Security Amendments, establishing the health insurance program for elderly known as Medicare, and the health insurance program for people with limited income known as Medicaid. Medicare and Medicaid was funded by tax-only earnings of employees that were matched by contributions from employees. Whereas Medicaid is a federal health insurance program for individuals over 65 and individuals with certain disabilities, regardless of their age. When the act was signed, private health insurance providers were insuring individuals over the age of retirement as well as chronic medical issues. In 1963, the age population was found to have increased over 3 million. In 1990 to 17.5 million, and two-thirds of individuals who had income less than $1,000 per year, and only 1 out of 8 had health issues. Over the past 6 decades, Medicaid has helped billions of people in the hospital stays, medical services, prescription drugs. Medicaid is a joint federal and state program that provides health for long-term care coverage to millions of low-income Americans. This insurance includes 41% of pregnant women and 1/3 of children in the United States. Medicaid funds also assist with reimbursement of community-based care, transportation, counseling, services, and many other critical health needs. Whereas Planned Parenthood treats people on Medicaid for a wide range of services, including contraceptives, medical testing, treatment, cancer screening, parental care, providing affordable health care services to those who need them most across the country. Medicare and Medicaid Act was a major step in providing health care coverage to the vulnerable population. In the first 3 years of the program, nearly 20 million beneficiaries enrolled either Medicare or Medicaid. Today, Medicaid covers 66 million and Medicare covers 77 million. There be it resolved by City Council in the City of Wilmington. The Council is pleased to honor the 60th anniversary of the signing of Medicare and Medicaid Act and commend the services provided by services providers like Planned Parenthood for their efforts to bring quality health care to families in the City of Wilmington and the state and the nation. Job well done. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Councilmember Oliver, members of Wilmington City Council, and distinguished guests for inviting us here today. My name is April Thomas Jones, and I am the president and CEO of Planned Parenthood. I am joined with my board members, Lisa Shepard, Jerry Heisler, and the head of our nursing program, Susan Morris. And we are just so pleased and honored to accept this resolution on behalf of Planned Parenthood and the Board of Directors. We thank you so much for your acknowledgement of our hard work. We are grateful to receive this in honor of commemorating the signing of the Medicare and Medicaid Act of 1965. The creation of these programs opened the door to healthcare access for all. That same idea, that same vision that they saw then, Planned Parenthood sees today and stands firmly in it. Dr. Martin Luther King once said, "Injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere." So we say, despite the current injustice in healthcare, Planned Parenthood of Delaware continues to stand firm in our commitment to serve the community despite economic barriers. We will not allow economic roadblocks to prevent access to health care. We stand firm in the belief that health care is not a privilege for the wealthy, but a human right for all. We thank you tonight for standing with us and fighting alongside us for all Delawareans. Again, I would like to say on behalf of the entire Planned Parenthood family, thank you for this acknowledgement and thank you for the resolution. And most of all, thank you for your continued support.
Councilmember Owens.
Yes, I just want to say thank you for Planned Parenthood showing up here today. I've been a long supporter of theirs, and the work that they do in the community is extremely important, especially providing affordable health care for so many here in Wilmington. And their amazing team, their amazing board, thank you for everything that you do. And a special shout out to April, who I have a special connection with because she used to be the president and CEO of the PAL of Philadelphia. So we love that. But the amazing work that you're doing down here, we're grateful to have you down here.
Thank you. I'd like to recognize Councilmember Darby and Councilmember Hackett. In the way of other resolutions of recognition from Councilmember Cabrera, she recognized senior firefighter Louis A. Quinones on his retirement. And from Councilmember Owens, he recognized Jennifer Tompkins, service to the Reading Consortium and the Wilmington Police Academy Board. In the way of sympathy resolutions from all of council, sympathy resolution for former City of Wilmington employee Deborah Farmer from Councilmember Cabrera, sympathy resolutions for Edgar Antonio Bruno and Diker Jaquan Trotter from Councilmember Harley, sympathy resolutions for Jeffrey A. Washington, Evangelist Willie Mae Ford, and Carolyn Collins from Councilmember Johnson, a sympathy resolution for Deanna Tuso from Councilmember Oliver, sympathy resolutions for Gary L. Price, David Harrigan Jr., Thomas Green Sr., from Councilmember Owens. I'm sorry, that's coming from Councilmember Owens for Thomas Green Sr. Also from Councilmember Owens, a sympathy resolution for Cameron A. Brady. And from Councilmember Spadola, sympathy resolutions for Nancy Bartoszewski Lynch, Alice Goodfellow Davis, and Francis A. Mercante Jr. At this time, we will move to public comment. As a friendly reminder, you will have 3 minutes for your comment. If you are with us in council chambers, please watch your step when you get to the podium. Please remember to introduce yourselves. And if you like, you can say which district you represent, but you are not required to. We're going to start with Tony Dunn.
Good evening. Tony Dunn, 2nd District. I'm coming to you today. This is a notice to the City of Wilmington Law Department, Planning Department, and License and Inspection. My name is Tony Dunn. I am a son and legal heir to Tony Dunn Sr. Our family was our family has a home on 1302 West 6th Street that was illegally sold by the City of Wilmington and the Land Bank, case number N22J-02525. My family and I were not notified properly under the Rule 969, where all parties and heirs must be notified of the sale of our home. This is a historical home. in the Cool Spring Historical District. They gutted our home, our family home, and rebuilt it, remodeled it without our permission. They stole our home from us. The land bank stole our home from us. 4 generations of children. This is our generational wealth that the city and the land bank has taken. We're asking, and I've put it in the courts, back in the courts, we want our home back. It seems like the land bank has been doing this for some time. We're not the only family, and it needs to stop. The illegal sales of homes in poor people's areas is unacceptable. And we are going to fight for our generational wealth. We don't need a lawyer. We need the rules and the laws. The law of the land says that they were supposed to give every heir adequate notification, either by sheriff's sale or by notary letter. None of this was done. My family is very disappointed, and I'm representing the complete Dunn's family. And all of you here in City Council was given notice. I hand-delivered the information to City Council on the 9th floor, and I made several emails
30 seconds.
to City Council members. City Council sits on the land bank. Y'all know what's going on. Let's get it stopped.
Thank you. We do have several people from the community who want to give public comment virtually. So to be fair, we are going to go back and forth between those of you who are in here with us in council chambers and those of you who are with us virtually. First, we have James Purcell.
Yes, good evening. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Thank you for joining us. Please introduce
great.
yourself.
Great, thank you. Council President Congo and council members, thank you for allowing me to speak regarding Resolution 0162. My name is James Purcell. I'm in the 2nd Council District, and I am here tonight to ask that you vote against passage of that resolution. Resolution 0162 does not apply to a specific 18-year-old, but to all 18-year-olds who meet the conditions set forth in Section 3-300. Therefore, we must consider the change as it applies to the total population of the qualifying group. The mayor of Wilmington must possess many qualities, among which are management skills and subject matter understanding. I submit that 18-year-olds in general lack these qualities in sufficient quantity. The mayor has direct report responsibility for a 10-member staff. Those positions include Chief of Staff, Executive Assistant to the Chief of Staff, Deputy Chief of Staff, Deputy Chief of Staff, LGBTQ+ Liaison, Director of Operations, Director of Special Projects, Director of Communications, Deputy Director of Communications, and Special Assistant for Community Engagement. This list highlights the extent to which the person holding the office of mayor must possess significant management skills. The mayor must not only develop and drive the execution of a mission statement, but must also understand team dynamics, appreciate individual motivation strategies, optimal team meeting facilitation, conflict resolution, information processing and decisioning, and prioritizing limited human and capital resources. But the mayor's job goes far beyond managing a staff. It includes interfacing with city departments, auditing department, Department of Finance, Department of Human Resources, Department of Land Use Planning, Law Department, Department of License and Inspection, Department of Parks and Recreation, Department of Public Works, Department of Real Estate and Housing. This list highlights the subject matter understanding that a mayor must possess to effectively interact with these departments. I do not suggest the mayor should have an in-depth knowledge of each area, rather, at a minimum, a high-level understanding of all the departments. The mayor should be able to understand the roles and responsibilities of each department. For instance, the mayor will appoint the city solicitor and therefore should have some understanding of simple legal terms and how the qualifications of a candidate for that position relate to the responsibilities of that office. In addition, the mayor will play an important role in contract negotiation with other city departments. In these instances, the mayor must possess both management and subject matter understanding, as well as some appreciation of the negotiation process. The youth are the future leaders. We should allow them time to gain real-world experiences, both economically, socially, and professionally, so that they can use those experiences to better manage the city.
You have 30 seconds.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Next in council chambers, we have Sophia Block. Thank you for joining us. Please remember to introduce yourself.
Good evening. My name is Sophia Block, and I am the Community Engagement Manager at Innocence Project Delaware, our state's only legal nonprofit focused exclusively on preventing and addressing wrongful convictions. I spoke here a couple of weeks ago about the importance of Senate Bill 57 and 58, and I'm grateful to be back here to reiterate my support for those of you that heard me a couple weeks ago. I apologize. Senate Substitute 1 for Senate Bill 57 would provide much-needed updates for Delaware's post-conviction DNA testing statute. At Innocence Project Delaware, we often rely on DNA testing and forensic evidence to help prove our clients' innocence. We've had a number of clients and applicants, including some that date back to the 1980s, before DNA testing was even available, who would benefit from testing but are currently denied because of how restrictive the current Delaware law is. Delaware is among only a handful of states that are not up to standard when it comes to our post-conviction DNA testing statute. Senate Bill 57, pending in the General Assembly, would remove the time bar and plea bar, as currently incarcerated individuals can be denied DNA testing if their conviction is over 3 years old, which is true for nearly every single case that we review. These changes will allow us to access DNA testing on behalf of our clients to uncover the truth, but not only to prove their innocence. In some cases, it will help us identify the actual perpetrator of the crime, bringing justice and closure to victims and survivors. Misapplied forensic science is a leading cause of wrongful convictions. And unfortunately, in Delaware, wrongfully convicted individuals have no avenue to return to court if they're convicted based on flawed or misapplied forensic science. Senate Substitute 1 for Senate Bill 58, currently pending in the General Assembly, would provide a legal mechanism for individuals to return to court if new forensic evidence emerges or if existing forensic evidence is discredited, something that a growing number of states across the country have already implemented. We believe that those convicted based on flawed forensic analysis should have access to justice, and that when science evolves, our legal system must be willing to listen, correct injustices, and uphold integrity in our court system. I'd like to thank the sponsors of these resolutions in favor of Senate Bill 57 and 58 and the City Council for bringing their attention to these critical post-conviction issues. And I'll also add, it's not a resolution today, but recently, a couple weeks back, Senate Bill 214 has been introduced to the Senate Corrections and Public Safety Committee, and it's made it out of committee. This is an evidence preservation bill that we've been working hard to get implemented in Delaware, because currently Delaware has no evidence preservation standards, meaning that when we're reinvestigating cases that are
30 seconds.
5, 10, 30 years old, oftentimes we don't have access to evidence, and we'd like to change this in the state. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, virtually, we have Jean Truono.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Thank you for joining us.
Certainly. And thank the council for letting me make a comment. So I am Jean Truono, and I'm the chairman of the Delaware Republican Party. And, we feel very strongly about the fact that there's a special carve out in the council rules to provide for a minority party representation on the council, and that seat has worked very effectively, allowing for the discourse between the majority party and the minority party and those people who elected the minority party candidate, Republicans in this case, who had representation. The individual who was the at-large candidate changed their party affiliation, and we now no longer have a minority party representation on council. We believe this is detrimental to the people of the city of Wilmington, certainly the Republicans that voted for the council member, and that we would like to see some type of accommodation to allow for a voice from the minority party, in our case, to be able to continue the very lively discourse between the majority party for the benefit of the people of the city of Wilmington and for the benefit of the constituents who represented the at-large candidate. Thank you.
Thank you. Next in council chambers, we have Jamila Drivey. Thank you for joining us, and please remember to introduce yourself.
My name is Jamila Davey. I live in the 5th District, and I am a member of Green for the Greater Good, and I am a gardener. And I want to thank Councilmember Willauer for introducing Resolution 0178, calling on the city to fully restore the Rodney Reservoir Community Garden so that as many residents as possible can garden this year. And I also want to thank Councilmember Owens for signing on as a co-sponsor as well. And I'm going to keep my comments brief because we have some gardeners in the house tonight. When this very successful garden was temporarily closed for construction of the amazing new park at the Rodney Reservoir, all 61 beds were in use. And then the approved design for the new garden that was created by the landscape architects hired by the city included 62 beds. So far, only 20 have been built. The community really cares about this garden. More than 125 people have signed up expressing interest in getting a plot. And Green for the Greater Good and Westside Grows together are offering to organize the resources and volunteers to rebuild the garden if needed. We're also offering to collaborate on operations to ease the burden on the city for that purpose, and also because Westside Grows did it for 14 years very successfully. And I've shared with President Congo some handouts that show you how that could work. And also the handout also lays out some of the benefits of community gardens for communities. It's our vision that the model we develop for community gardening at the Rodney Reservoir be replicated by other communities in their local parks. Neighboring cities are doing it, places like Newark, Delaware, and we think we could do it here. Thank you for your consideration, and that's it. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, virtually, we have Brandon Bryce.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Council President and members of council. My name is Brandon Bryce, and I hail from the 4th District. And I voice my concern today as the City of Wilmington's charter does include a rule designated to ensure that there is some representation from a minority political party on City Council. And it applies specifically to at-large seats and not to every seat of that council. Under this charter's rules and governing elections for at-large members, no more than 3 out of the 4 at-large council seats can be held by a candidate of that same political party. This means at least one of the 4 seats must be held by someone from a different party. Let me stress that again, a different party. How this works, the city's charter limits nominations so that no political party can nominate more than 3 candidates for at-large seats. Because of this, the voters usually elect 3 Democratic candidates and typically 1 Republican candidate for that at-large seat. Having that bipartisan representation on city council like Wilmington comes with practical upsides, broader representation of residents, better decision-making, and often leading to a more balanced and well-thought-out policies instead of one-sided solutions, increased accountability and transparency. That is, when parties share power, members are more likely to scrutinize each other's proposals, budgets, and actions that can reduce rubber stamping and increase our public trust here in Wilmington. And 5th, stronger collaboration. Local issues, public safety, infrastructure, housing, and schools aren't inherently partisan, but bipartisan councils often focus more on practical solutions rather than party loyalty. In short, bipartisan representation will and can make Wilmington City Council more inclusive, more effective, more trusted, and especially when members prioritize the seat's needs over party politics. And just think, this year, it's the Republicans. In a generation, it can be the Democrats. We need full bipartisanship on this council. That concludes my time. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, we have Laura Filon. Sorry if I mispronounced your last name. Thank you for joining us. Please watch your step.
Hi, I'm Laura Filon. I'm a member of Green for the Greater Good and also a gardener. I'm now living in the 1st District. Used to live in Cool Spring and helped found the garden that used to be at where the new Rodney Reservoir Park is. I'm an environmental advocate, and I strongly believe that people should have access to healthy local food as part of community resilience. The benefits of gardening are many. Physical health, mental health, touching grass, observing the cycles of nature, and getting physical exercise, not to mention growing healthful food. I think all of those benefits are enhanced when it's done in community. It helps build community resilience. There's intergenerational skill sharing and opportunity to play together, to bond as community members, to get to know one's neighbors. And as Jamila had mentioned, my vision is that this community garden, being the first one in a public park, will be replicated as a model throughout the city, giving more people the opportunity to enjoy gardening and enjoy communing with their neighbors. I strongly urge you to support the resolution 0178. And I hope that all of the council will full-throatedly help persuade the city to build the remaining beds in the Rodney Community Garden. There is a huge demand, and if there's one thing we need more of, it's community gardens. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, we have Al Gredo, virtually. Al Gredo. Al Gredo, if you're still with us virtually, please raise your hand. All right. Next, we have James Pittman. All right. Next, we have Jane Hudson. All right. Rob Bullock.
Thank you, but no comment.
Okay, thank you. Andrea, who's with us virtually, no last name was listed. Andrea. All right. T.T. Griffith. Nelson Lubin. Carmela Boyd. Dudley Scott. Christina Kelly.
Hi, good evening.
Good evening. Thank you for joining us.
Of course. Thank you for an opportunity to speak tonight, Council President. My name is Christina Kelly, and I am speaking tonight with disappointment and concern. So Councilman James Padola's abrupt party switch, to me, isn't a bold act of conscience. It's a textbook display of political opportunism. Voters didn't wake up one morning and suddenly change their values, but apparently their councilman did, and conveniently so, right when it best serves him. If this switch were rooted in genuine ideological growth, we'd see transparency, accountability, and a clear explanation of what principles he now rejects and which ones he suddenly embraces. Instead, we're left with vague platitudes and a glaring lack of respect for the people who elected him in under an entirely different banner. Party labels do matter because they signal values, priorities, and commitments. Treating them as interchangeable accessories insults voters.
Ms. Kelly, we can't hear you.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you now.
Okay. Can you still hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay, wonderful. Were you able to hear any of my comments?
Yes. I think the last thing we heard was treating voters.
Insults voters.
Insult to voters.
Okay. Oh, okay. Yeah, so we're way back there. Okay. Yeah, I've just lost it all. Okay, so this isn't leadership. It's a bait and switch. Constituents deserve representation, not a rebrand designed to preserve personal power. If Councilman Spadola truly believes in this new political identity, the honest move would be to make his case to voters before changing teams, or step aside and let the public decide whether they want him speaking on their behalf. Anything less is disingenuous, self-serving, and exactly why so many people have lost faith in politics altogether. In a city where less than 30% of registered voters participate, this cannot stand. I'd also like to express my disappointment in the Delaware Democrats for accepting this with no transparency, with welcoming, warming arms. Thank you.
Thank you. Next in council chambers, we have Phyllis Mobley. Thank you for joining us. Please watch your step once you reach the podium.
Hi, I'm Phyllis Woolley Mobley, and I am an original gardener, a member of the Green for the Greater Good, too. And I speak on behalf of children and youth. I'm an educator, and I'm also a poet, so I do have something I want to say that I feel that children can benefit a lot from parks in many ways. It can change their eating habits, which we've seen. I used to cart 11 kids in from Chester to work on the garden because I was a teacher there. Then I became a teacher in the Brandywine School District and brought kids in. There were kids that had never tasted eggplant, had never had, fresh vegetables, fruits, and they grew everything. They also helped the other gardeners. They learned a lot of civics. So I'll just go with the poem now. It's called Child's Bark. Plant a seed, you grow a tree. Plant a tree, you grow cyclical knowledge in me. Plant flowers, beauty blossoms in me, and you'll see. Plant a garden, my body strong, you'll see clear. My vision broad will be there every year. My humanity song you'll feel, seeding generations to believe the power in nature, in trees, and in children just like me. So one of the things that I know, and I think a lot of people know in public education, is that a lot of our kids come to school hungry. And thank goodness that we have programs to feed them. But a lot of kids that learn about gardening, they actually go home and they know they can grow tomatoes, they can grow eggplant, they can grow cucumbers, beans in pots. They don't need a plot. But how did they learn that? By being a part of a community garden, by learning from people like Laura. I learned from her. I learned from my mother too. I am a child of a grandfather who was a farmer, a black farmer in Texas. So my point is, we can teach children so much so much about who they are. They can be strong. Their minds can be strong. We teach them science. We teach them civics, how to help, neighbors, how to help the elderly, not to see the elderly as being weak, but
30
to see
seconds.
the elderly as having a knowledge base that they can access. It's just a beautiful thing if you see the relationships that build when you have urban gardens and when you have forest bathing. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, virtually, we have Lawrence Scott. Dora Williams. Dora Williams.
Yes, I'm sorry. I was trying to unmute my.
All right. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you. Good evening, City Council and fellow attendees. Thank you for this opportunity to speak. Before each meeting, this council invites the Holy Spirit to interrupt and intervene in the work of governing the people. In recent gatherings, you have taken time to commemorate individuals whose courage and commitment to justice shaped our community. Thank you for your willingness to honor these lives, both those still with us and those who have passed. Thank you for it creates a space. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
That's fine.
Oh my goodness. Thank you for this creates a space where justice is not only remembered, but renewed. The celebrants who joined this meeting carried the same spirit. Their presence reminds us that the pursuit of justice is not finished. It continues to confront the unresolved inequities, that remain among us. Thank you, City Council, for fostering an environment where this legacy can be acknowledged and where the call to justice can be heard with clarity. I agree with the prayer that has gone before us. I also say, to God, even our leaders make bad choices sometimes. Please help them make wise decisions that honor you and care for the people they serve. Thank you. Amen.
Thank you. April Collins. Thank you for joining us. Please watch your step once you reach the podium, and please remember to introduce yourself.
Good evening. My name is April Collins. I'm from the 7th District. I'm a gardener, and I'm here with a lot of my neighbors who are also gardeners. And we have formed such great relationships through this garden. And I'm here tonight to urge City Council to support the resolution to complete the garden that we started. We've got 20 beds, but we've got so much more interest to use that space. So I would urge the City Council to work with the city, work with the neighbors and the gardeners to complete the remaining 40-some beds. I'm a community health nurse, and the benefits of a community garden for the city, it would be huge. I mean, it's just so beneficial for physical health, for mental health, for social health, for strengthening the community. So I just echo those who have spoken before me to urge the city to support the resolution so we can garden this spring. Thank you so much.
Thank you. R. Crawford. Okay, thank you. Sarah Lester. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me. Hi, my name's Sarah Lester. I live in the 5th District on 7th Street, and I'm the president of Cornerstone West CDC. I wanted to speak tonight in support of the Garden Resolution number 0178. In my work capacity, we oversee the implementation of the West Side Grows Together Revitalization Plan, and we partner closely with Green for the Greater Good to improve our parks, gardens, and open spaces with leadership from our neighbors. If folks don't know already, West Side Grows Together was actually born out of the Rodney Reservoir Garden. Dozens and dozens, possibly hundreds of neighbors have gathered at the space to design, build, and cultivate this land that was underutilized in the heart of the West Side. This collaboration and stewardship built pride in the city of Wilmington. And during a lot of, over the years, divisive times, has inspired friendship and unity. The Rodney Reservoir Garden, for over 15 years, has been a beautiful space overlooking the city. I was fortunate to be asked to serve as the co-chair on the Rodney Reservoir Working Group, working closely with the city of Wilmington and my neighbors to design a historic, epic new park, for which I hope everyone who has been involved is very proud. I was up on the hill when the final boards from the garden beds were being removed, and I witnessed the raw outpouring of emotion from many gardeners as their beloved space was prepared for demolition. Let me be clear, I was excited for the new park. I was excited for this chance to continue our partnership with the city of Wilmington to design resident-driven open spaces in the West Side and in the city. And I was hopeful that the garden would be rebuilt, bigger and better than before. The park is beautiful. The efforts from Public Works and our friends of this park are tremendous, and I am still hopeful that we will rebuild this garden. As a resident and as the president of Cornerstone, I know that we have people power collectively. We have people power collectively and resources to make it happen. I love win-win-wins. I'm sure many of us do. I hope all of us do. And I think this is a huge win-win-win for the city and for all of us. Now let's keep growing together. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, we have Nicola. Last name begins with a J. Thank you for joining us. Please watch your step once you reach the podium. Please remember to introduce yourself.
Sorry, my shoe blew out on the way here.
All right, take your time.
Yes, my name is Nicola Iacobucci. I have a little different perspective. I'm here from the 4th District in support of the completion of the garden project. The first month I was here, I went out on a little jaunt on my bike, and I saw Rodney Reservoir had a community garden. Well, at that time, the community garden was a construction area. So I was a little disappointed, but I found that there are people that were using that site for many years, as has been pointed out. And I myself have been a volunteer at both community gardens, urban gardens, and at community composting sites. And I focus on the sustainability of a city that invests and supports community gardens and sites for urban gardening. This is a carbon sink. You can remove a lot of carbon from the environment by gardening and composting. And God knows we need that now, especially with the way the weather's been changing and the environment has been responding to our current situation. But also, as mentioned by others, the youth of the community need to see where food comes from, not from a plastic bag, but from the ground, by your hard work and toil to bring about fresh fruits and vegetables to a community that may very well be called a food desert. So tonight I hope the council can find a way to bring the community garden to its fullest extent possible, at a minimum the full 60 beds, and bring as many people in the community into the process of growing food and sustaining a better, healthier Wilmington. Thank you.
Thank you. Ronald Horowitz. Thank you for joining us, and please remember to introduce yourself. Please watch your step.
Hello. I am here just to say I support the effort of the garden enthusiasts who have come out tonight. I thank the City Council for allowing us to voice our aspirations. Most of what everybody has shared, I also embrace. And I don't feel the need to go into great detail, but I would very much like to see the garden back in use and more of the community able to participate. Thank you.
Thank you. Can you please state your name for the record?
Arnold Horowitz.
All right, thank you. No, I don't think so. Next, we have Michael Sharon. Thank you for joining us this evening, and please remember to introduce yourself, and please watch your step.
My name is Michael Sharon. I'm in the District 7. I'd like to say good evening to President Congo and to all the council members. Thank you for this opportunity to be able to have something to say. So I just want to say that Resolution 0178 is more than a vote on just having 60 beds. This is a vote that says we are voting on the side of right. Council members, when you look back years from now, after your careers are done, you're going to be happy that you voted yes, affirmative, on Resolution 0178. Why? Because when you look at gardening, when you look at where it's headed, you will understand this is not just about people feeling good, but this is a movement. This is a movement that you can look over the course of the whole nation, of the whole United States of America. You can look and see even the sciences and how they are talking about how gardening is, how it just makes people better mentally, emotionally, in ways that you can't even imagine. Children, therapy and mental health and all kind of different manners and ways. And one day, you will see by supporting this, how you will start to see how the city of Wilmington will get a reputation for being a place that people are going to be saying, oh, that's the city that's that community garden city. Yeah, community gardens all over the place, where it helps the environment, where you actually see people getting better. A lot of sicknesses will go away simply because people are gardening. It may seem hard to believe, and I know you have a lot of issues that come before you, but definitely voting affirmative for this resolution, you will be glad and happy that you did. Thank you.
Thank you. Just before our final public speaker, just want to take a vote to extend public comment past 7:30.
Second.
Motion to extend public comment.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye. Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. Our final speaker this evening is Mike Reppy. Thank you for joining us, and please watch your step.
Hi, my name is Mikey Reppy. I'm a longtime resident of the 5th District, and I also want to support Resolution 178, support of the garden. I've been in the garden since the second year and all the way up till the end. We walk our dog in the new park, which is lovely many days, and you stare out over this unused space of the park. So I just want to see that space used in this upcoming gardening season and to have all the beds built. I echo everything that's been said before me. I don't really have to add anything because it's all been well said before. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. We do want to thank everyone who gave public comment this evening. Please know that you are always welcome to give public comment at our official city council meetings every first and third Thursday, and also at our committee meetings throughout the month. Next, we're going to move to legislative business. Councilmember Owens.
Yes, Mr. President, I have an ordinance to present and call for the first and second reading.
Ordinance number 26-005, agenda number 0169, an ordinance to authorize and approve a lease agreement between the City of Wilmington and Bottling Group, LLC, for a portion of 3505 Governor Prince Boulevard for use as East Lawn Park.
First reading of the ordinance.
An ordinance to authorize and approve a lease agreement between the City of Wilmington and Bottling Group, LLC, for a portion of 3505 Governor Prince Boulevard for use as East Lawn Park.
Second reading of the ordinance.
Mr. President, I move that this be known as the first and second reading of the ordinance and referred to the Community Development and Urban Planning
Second.
Committee.
It's been properly moved in second, that be known as the first and second reading of the ordinance, and referred to the Community Development and Urban Planning Committee.
Mr. President, I have a resolution to present.
Resolution 26-002, agenda number 0170. Whereas the Wilmington City Council 2022-2025 strategic plan prioritizes.
I move that this resolution be received, recorded, and filed and adopted by a yea-nay vote.
Second.
It's been properly moved in second, the resolution be received, recorded, filed, and adopted by a yea or nay vote on the question.
Yes, Mr. President. So this is a resolution appointing 9 individuals to the subcommittee under the Health, Environmental, Aging, and Disabilities Committee. This subcommittee will focus on homelessness here in the city of Wilmington. And those individuals who are being appointed is Dr. Anna Velez, Anita Brooks, Frank Hawkins, James Jobs, Cheyenne Miller, Shamar Parker, Tony Stensga, I'm so sorry if I butchered your name, Anna Shields, and Leah Warner. This is a robust group of individuals that bring experience as community advocates, experts in the field, and policy analysts as well, too. Also in this resolution, we are amending the original resolution by taking out the clause in which that no... as a disqualifying factor that individuals who are paid public employees as a disqualifier. So we are removing that part for this subcommittee so that individuals who do receive salaries from the state can still serve on this committee.
Do we need to take a vote on the amendment?
It's already, it's all together.
Oh, okay.
It's not
All right,
a
thank you.
amendment.
Councilmember Oliver.
Yes, Mr. President. I'd like to make a floor amendment to Resolution 0170. The resolution appoint members from the Homeless Subcommittee of the Health, Environmental, Age, Disability Standing Committee. Description of the floor amendment. The floor amendment amends the resolution by removing the clause which would allow public officials and paid public employees to serve on the committee. Mr. President, I would like to make a motion for a floor amendment at this time as such. on page 2, the first be it further resolved clause, strike the first paragraph being with be it further resolved in its entirety, which would allow paid public employees to serve as members of a subcommittee. Strike anyone that is paid public employees. With that being said, I know one of my coworkers who started, a lot of subcommittees, not that it wasn't subcommittees in the past, but I feel as though we should continue with more community-based individuals and not paid or government positions or public employees. So I would like it to go back to where it was from the beginning.
We need a second. If there's anyone who wants to second that.
Second.
Does anyone want to speak to the amendment? Councilmember Darby.
I just have a question. So if we can get a little bit of background on the individuals, how many of them are Wilmingtonians, not Wilmingtonians, who is paid, who's not paid? If you have the breakdown, I don't know if the sponsor can speak to that.
Should I publicly, because it's people's background?
I can speak to it.
I'm not going to mention anyone's name.
Right, don't mention.
But there are people who work with the state, as well as there's a professor on this list as well, too. Again, those are publicly paid employees here in the state of Delaware. And I'm glad this amendment was brought up for a few reasons. So one, this is only removing the paid public employee, not the elected officials, so no elected officials can go on here. But because I did not know about this floor amendment, you could have gave me a heads up, but let's talk about it. In 2022, Councilwoman Oliver, you put forth a task force for reparations where 7 out of the 11 individuals would have violated this same clause. I'm trying to be transparent. Yes.
Go ahead.
Yes.
Go ahead.
I am trying to be transparent with everyone and put it beforehand to take away any improprieties that we are going to have individuals who are experts in this field who are paid by the state. We are not asking city employees to dictate city policies, right? That's not what this is for. And from my understanding, that's why that was originally put in. Now, for the reparations task force, we currently, when you had that, you had state employees on it. Yes, you had state employees on it, and you had professors on it. And in that original clause, and I can give you a copy of it as well, too, it had that no paid public individual. So, again, if this was a concern, I would have loved for you to come to me and say that you had a floor amendment prior to this meeting, but I see we want to blindside me on the floor.
Yeah, I talked to you on the telephone about it. But anyway, go ahead and let you finish. I'm going to stick to the agenda.
Please
Go
ask
ahead.
for permission to speak.
Okay, so let me...
Councilmember Darby.
Yeah. How many, is it?
I can answer.
Councilmember Oliver, hold on one second,
I'm
please.
sorry, I can't
Thank you.
answer.
But talking to the amendment,
already
I'm just
knew.
trying to understand, what is the what is the issue? I'm trying to understand the issue. What's the percentage? Is it a majority people who are paid from the state? Is it maybe 1 or 2? I'm trying to understand that. I don't need names, but kind of understanding. Do they live in Wilmington at least?
Yes, they are Wilmington residents.
Councilmember Owens.
Sorry. Can I respond?
Yes.
Yes, they are Wilmington residents, and there's 3 individuals from my knowledge that are paid by the state.
Any follow-up, Councilmember Darby?
No follow-up.
Councilmember Bracy, followed by Councilmember Oliver.
Thank you, Mr. President. Would it be possible for the sponsor to hold his legislation tonight so that the resumes and the information of all of those that are being selected can be shared with the rest of the council members before we vote on them? Because I don't remember seeing their information. So maybe that'll be helpful if we all just received the information that we don't want to put out in the public.
Councilmember Owens can respond to that on his final comments. Councilmember Oliver, any comment?
No, I hear, this is just a debate. This is just how I feel. I just think that I didn't know that the one person, won't call their name, works for a senator in Dover. And I just feel like Dover is always telling us to stay out of their business. And, when you talk about the state, someone coming from the state, DHS, dealing with the homeless, they have the funding, they have emergency services, they deal with Social Security. I would think that individual will be down there trying to get the senator to come up with legislation that will impact Wilmington. And I just feel like it should be what it has always been. It's nothing personal. I just feel like it should be community people. We have enough. If the sponsor would have asked me, do I have 2 people to be on a homeless task force, I could have told him, yeah, because I have 3 people that's interested. I just feel like it's always been community people from Wilmington, and Dover's always asking us to stay out of their business. Why are we asking Dover to come up here and be in our business? And that was one of the main things when I found out, because I didn't know from the beginning where that person was from. But knowing they're from Dover, that really kind of I think we got some Wilmington people that would love to be on the task force, because I see them all on Facebook talking about the homeless all the time. But it's nothing personal. That's just how I felt, and that's the end of that.
Councilmember Harley, did you want to make a comment?
I did. Thank you, Mr. President. I just wanted to say that it is unfortunate that our law department is not being consistent in terms of what the qualifiers are. Mm-hmm. In addition to whoever's looking at the resume. So if we have a qualifier in there that states if you are in a particular category that you cannot hold this position, I feel as though we need to be better gatekeepers. If someone submitted a resume and we have already outlined that if you in this category that you can hold that position, I'm not sure why we are not getting back with individuals to let them know based on our guidelines, you do not qualify. That's number one, because I don't know how individuals' names end up on a resolution if it states in the qualifications that they don't qualify. That's number one. And I'm very disappointed that in 2022 that this was allowed. So I think that we should be consistent in our own rules and our own standards and guidelines that we set. And to my knowledge, and I answer because I share with him that I've had several people to reach out to me for some of the other subcommittees, and I had to tell them that they could not be on.
Councilmember Owens, Councilmember Harley. Councilmember Owens and Oliver, please allow Councilmember Harley to have the floor. Thank you.
And I shared with the sponsor that I have turned down so many individuals that wanted to be on subcommittees because of this qualifier that we're trying to replace tonight. And I just feel as though we should continue to be consistent, number one. And as I stated, it's in the guidelines that this is what it is. And I'm a little disappointed that we receive these resumes and not return the calls to let these individuals know, whoever they are, that this is what our guidelines are. So I have no issues with any of the names on here at all. I just have an issue with us removing that clause.
All right, thank you. Did anyone else want to speak to the amendment?
I'd like to say one other thing.
Councilmember Oliver?
Yes, I'd like to say one other thing. The main thing is that if you come in here in person at, one of our council members, committee members, you could participate in person. You could get on Zoom. You could still participate, period, without even being selected to be on any of these committees. So, I just wanted to say that because another task force, I had a friend come. She was able to speak. They took her suggestions. She came to 2 of them, and she wasn't on the task force. So it's not like the people who won't be able to participate in this program. And the homeless thing, that's all. And another thing, the mayor does have a task force that has a mixture of various individuals. So to me, it kind of looks like we're trying to duplicate what the mayor already has in place also.
Thank you. Councilmember Owens?
Yes. So one, this is in regard to policy. The task force that both Councilwoman Bracey and I sat on was for strategy for the mayor's administration side of things, and this is a follow-up of that. This would be for the city council, which is an equal branch of government, to come up with policies that best help find a solution to this ever-growing issue that we have here in this city, as I know most of us have dealt with in our own personal districts as well too. For the district members, and I'm sure the at-larges have also heard this as well. But I also, again, going back to this is, I would like to give kudos to Councilwoman Harley, who gave me a call today, and after that call, like I said, I started making my phone calls to figure out, the best way forward and everything, and listening to my colleagues when they brought concerns up. Again, this is something that I felt as though needed to be done because it is not uncommon for us to hire, to appoint state employees to our task force and to our subcommittees. As I brought up before, it has been done numerous times in violation of this code that we have here already. All I am trying to do is make sure that everything is clarified when it comes to this. If we are going to acknowledge that, yes, we do have individuals who work for the state who are going to be on this task force who are city residents, and the member you were referring to lives in the 4th District and is an active member of the community, I think we should make sure that our legislation is reflective of that. But I see, obviously, not everyone believes in that same thing. But when in 2022, when that resolution that you presented that violated your own original legislation.
Not true.
Councilmember Owens, please just
right.
direct your comments
Not true.
to me.
Okay.
Thank you.
When that resolution was brought up and voted on, you had multiple individuals who worked for the state in the same type roles, worked for the state DHSS, were professors. They were voted on. The sponsor of that legislation was Councilwoman Oliver, and the co-sponsors were Councilwoman Darby, Harley, Brigida Fields, Johnson, Mills, Cabrera, Bracey, and Council President Congo. So again, I just wanted to make sure that we were very clear with the legislation going forward that yes, we are acknowledging that we have done this in the past, and for this subcommittee, I was making it very clear that yes, we are removing the disqualifier for public paid employees because they are experts in these fields and they want to give back to their city. This isn't a paid city employee we're talking about. This isn't an elected official we're talking about. We're talking about a tenured professor at a university, y'all. That's what we're talking about right now. We're talking about someone who has experience, who used to work for the city of Wilmington in our fire department, all the way up to the rank of deputy fire chief, and now does work with the state and has extreme knowledge of what services are needed to come up with best policies and practices for what is going on, not only in 10 City, but all throughout this city when it comes to our unhoused population. That's all this is about. If there's an individual on the list that y'all have an issue with, just tell me. We can amend that. But to blindside me with a floor amendment is insane.
Hold on one second, Councilmember Oliver. Councilmember Spadola.
Thank you. I appreciate the dialogue. I've been thinking on it. The state of Delaware employs probably one of the biggest employers in the state, and I am sympathetic to what Councilmember Owens is saying. And I think it is a lot of experience that we are turning our backs on unnecessarily, and by excluding them from being on any task force, not necessarily this one, but I don't think we need, I think we should welcome a diverse range of backgrounds into these subcommittees. Thank you. So I won't be supporting the amendment.
Thank you. Councilmember Hackett.
Yeah, I just want to second what Councilman Spadola just said and Owens, that, when we're trying to do the best work we can for our residents, we shouldn't be blocking anybody off, regardless wherever they are at. We want the best to be able to present the best policy, help us along the journey to do what we do best and help our residents in the city of Wilmington. So I think I just want to thank Councilman Owens for bringing it to our attention so we can move forward and bring the best people in to help our city.
Thank you. Councilmember Johnson.
I think
the only point I have to say about the subcommittees is I'm not sure about the paid versus unpaid. All I want is effective government. We've talked a half an hour about this, and frankly, just like the reparations subcommittee, let's look at that report and see what actions have been happening. And so what I'm almost against all these subcommittees, because I feel like we do too many subcommittees and the people just want action, they want results. So I'm not even sure whether this is the right thing to do. Again, the paid versus unpaid, I'm not weighing in on that. But if we do this subcommittee, let's please do it right. Get some legislation behind it that actually is tangible, not things that are going to cost $1 million that the city doesn't have, but tangible steps our community can take. That's all I'm asking as someone that's seen committee after committee, and I'm one of the longer tenured members on council, and we don't need committees to do committees. So I know some of the individuals in there, and I think they do have solid backgrounds. So if we do this, let's do it right and get to work.
Thank you. Councilmember Harley, followed by Councilmember Willauer.
Yes, thank you, Mr. President. So first of all, again, I want to say that I think we should be consistent. As it relates to the task force back in 2022, it's just like what happened with this particular subcommittee. We put these notices out there for people to submit resumes, but the council members don't see the resumes to say, oh, by the way, you don't qualify. So I wanted to clear that air in terms of 2022, in terms of if there were individuals that ended up on the task force that did not qualify, I did not know that. Just like I didn't see the resumes that came forth for this particular subcommittee. But again, my concern is that we are consistent. If we say this is what is a qualifier, let's stick to it. Our team, who actually looks at the resumes, as well as the law department, because I feel as though if we are setting guidelines and rules and not keeping them, then this is the kind of chaos that it causes. So I want to go back to what I originally said. I have no issues at all with any of the individuals that have been appointed. The issue is that if you disagree with the clause, then you look like you're disagreeing with the people that have been appointed. And that's convoluted as well. So I just wanted to be on the record that in 2022, I didn't see the names of the individuals, but we should be consistent. And I do agree that we want the best people, the best talent. And for those that want to serve, should be able to serve. And I just ask that we be more consistent. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you. Again, just remind everyone that we are speaking on the amendment.
Please.
All right, Councilmember Councilmember Willauer. No, Councilmember McCoy, then Councilmember Oliver.
All right, thank you, Mr. President. So I just wanted to state that after reading this, I was under the impression that we needed to make certain that we were creating a clear boundary between someone who's getting paid, the staff person, and then also the person who's in advisory decision-making. Like, the problem that I'm having difficulty is the fact that I'm thinking it's somebody who works at the city, not the state. So, of course, if you were working for the city, you would not get paid for the city and then also be on this advisory type of board. So I need a little bit more clarity. How does the state and what they're doing actually affects the city? And why would we state that as a paid public employee, as a state worker, be capable of being on a subcommittee for the city? That's my question.
Thank you. Councilmember Oliver, then Councilmember Bracy.
I wanted to make clear from the resolution that Councilmember Owens is talking about, 2002, I never
We're only
had...
speaking to this amendment, please.
No, I just wanted to make... Councilman Darby picked up and had her own reparation from all of this. I mean, so I'm just making this clear. He's made... I mean, which is a good committee. I'm just clearing that up when he's saying I sponsored it, I had this, and I didn't. So I want to say that I didn't. That was the white and all of that. So,
point of order.
No.
Yes, may I have you?
To the amendment.
Yeah,
Yeah,
can we
okay,
please speak
well,
on the
then-
amendment? But
okay.
she is the sponsor of that.
Yeah, I was just saying you
Owens.
said...
the sponsor of
you
that.
said-
Councilmember Owens.
I mean, it's
Councilmember Owens, come on,
Sorry.
please, thank you. Only speak to the amendment. Only speak.
Council President.
Hold on one second, please, Councilmember Hackett. Councilmember Bracy.
Thank you. As it pertains to the amendment, I think this body needs to make up their minds what we're doing. And I think that that's part of the problem. We can't, you know, if this is what it was supposed to be, then that's what it's supposed to be. If we're going to change it, then we need to come together and say, okay, we're going to change it. But every time we see something and then, you know, it's not working the way we want it to work, or we, you know, oh, we want to make sure these people get on the committee, we can't just change the rules. If we want to change it and we don't care, then we don't care. But I think this might be a conversation better held off the floor, because now it's just divulging into back and forth. And I really would implore the sponsor of the bill and the sponsor of the amendment to agree to disagree for tonight and to hold it. And then let's go back to the drawing board and figure it out, not here on the council floor.
I agree.
Thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Hackett, followed by Councilmember Field.
Yeah, I just real quick, I think Councilwoman McCoy had a question, and I just wanted to see if the sponsor could answer her question for me. That's all. I thought it would be a follow-up on her question.
The sponsor of the, right now we're talking about the amendment. Are you talking about the amendment, Councilmember Hackett? Or are you talking about the original legislation?
I guess that's what McCoy had mentioned, and I guess, you know, still was having questions around it. I just was trying to figure out, I was just trying to get an answer on McCoy's question, that's all.
Okay, all right. We'll follow up. Councilmember Field?
Yeah, I would just like to second Councilmember Bracey's point. I feel like more homework needs to be done on this, and it's clearly there's confusion. Probably more calls should have been made, and you know, can we move on and do the homework offline rather than have this airing our laundry in front of everybody?
Thank you. So at this point, just as you know, respect to the amendment, we will take. Do you still want to move forward with the amendment?
No, Mr. President, I would ask the sponsor if he hold it so we can talk offline, because I wasn't at the committee when he made the amendment, and I just wonder if we could.
Are you withdrawing your amendment?
Yes, I will withdraw it.
Councilmember, any other council members have any other comments before we go back to the sponsor? Councilmember Hackett?
Yeah, just real quick, I just think that this is something that, you know, Councilman Owens is trying to address right now. I don't think this is something that needs to go back to the drawing board. It's something real simple and clear that he's trying to create between our councils. If I was, the sponsor, I would continue to move forward.
And I'm going to just bring it back if we don't.
Councilmember Oliver, please wait until you call. Thank you. Councilmember Owens.
Yes. To answer Councilman Hackett and Councilwoman McCoy's question about and please correct me if I'm wrong, your question was in regards to why city employees can't be on our task force and subcommittees, or?
If I may.
Yes, Councilmember McCoy.
So the question that I had is, I do understand the boundary. I could not understand why a state employee could not be on a city subcommittee. So I thought it was city employees could not be on the city subcommittee.
So that is, sorry, Council President, can I respond? Yes. So how it's currently written with the paid public employee, it does not, it doesn't say like, hey, what level? Just any paid employee in the state of Delaware, whether you're federal, state, county, school board, whatever. Like it's in city as well too. It's all levels. You could be a city employee, and I'm not saying we would put someone on, but a city employee of Newark, and you still wouldn't qualify to be on this, right? So again, it's just, it's so many things there. You could either, I would either say if you have a contract with the state and you're a nonprofit, like there would be some gray area there. So again, I just wanted to make sure that for this subcommittee and only this subcommittee, this isn't changing the rule for anything else, but we acknowledge that, yes, we will have people who have expertise and work for other levels of government that would be serving on this committee. Does that answer your question?
Yes.
Okay.
All right, thank you. Councilmember Darby?
Yeah, I'm in support of this legislation. I think the work needs to be done. I don't think holding it for a whole nother council meeting is necessary. I think this task force is important. It's not duplicit. There's going to be talk about implementing policy around homelessness. And for me, I do think outside of this, we can have a conversation about what we want to do for committees, but I think this should be an outside conversation. And one question I wanted to ask, and just to clarify, because I remember getting an email from council staff stating, do you know anyone who wants to serve on this homelessness subcommittee? I shared it on my social media, right? So the notion is false to say that we all didn't have an opportunity to share, because some people were saying that they weren't able to share people to be on any of these task force. But whenever there is a task force, there's an open call. And I usually, for each one, any task force or any subcommittee, I post it on my social media. So I know for a fact, I remember posting it, and I remember people hitting me up in my inbox saying, hey, what do I need to do? And I'm like, hey, send your stuff to Kendra, right? And then I don't want no more parts after that, right? They can decide who gets on after that. So I just want to be very clear that it is a open, fair process. But one thing I did not get was, before this is true, I didn't know, I didn't get resumes or any of that. So that part is true. But to say that it wasn't an open process is not fair. Thank you. And I'm in support of this.
Yes, I did speak with, just to your point, Councilmember Darby, before we go to roll. I did just speak with our chief of staff, and I do agree that usually it's always been the names are gathered, and then the names come to me, and I go to the president, and then I approve or not approve. But I do think that all council members should have an opportunity to review the names that were selected, so that it is going to be a practice from this point on. And again, I think that if the person is going to be good for the subcommittee, I don't think that them working with the city or the state should keep them out. I think that our subcommittees should be taken seriously, and I think they are, but I don't think that just because they work with the state or the city, we should exclude them. I don't think that's fair. They have knowledge, and they can bring some benefits to the subcommittee. I do think that they should be allowed to be on that subcommittee.
Mr. President.
Yes, Councilmember Oliver.
I mean, I think what Councilman Hardy said, and somewhat, I mean, it's just inconsistent. 1 minute it was one way that it's always been, and then something was changed in the committee room, and then it was changed, and then we just added the people. So I hope moving forward, like you said, you get to see the names, and we all get to see the names, because I really just saw the names yesterday or whatever, and I was like, what is this all about? So I was like going back to say, well, look, I'm still looking at the old legislation, and 1 minute we talk about the public, and then let's get the public involved, and next minute we change it for certain people. So that's all I have to say.
All right, I think a lot of this conversation, like Councilmember Bracy and some other council members alluded to, that it can be handled, offline.
I'm sorry.
So I just think we have to do a better job of communicating with each other about our concerns before we come on council floor. Councilmember Owens, any final comments?
Yes. So just a few things, just based off the conversation we've had. I agree with Councilman Johnson when it comes to just not having another task force, not having another subcommittee, and not doing anything from that, right? In response to his question about what has been done from some of these, there has been recommendations and policies put forward that has come from the city boundary committee. It has come from fines and fees. It's even some of the reparation, the housing for educators program. That is a recommendation of the reparations task force. So policies have come from that, but good policy isn't done overnight. Good policy takes time to be vetted, bring together experts, have the public discourse on it, and then coming together as a council body to debate it as well too. I take no personal feelings towards anyone tonight. If you don't support this, or if you do, this is, again, just to help move our city forward and move this council forward on a policy side of things when it comes to addressing what is going on. Again, yes, this body does have the ability to change the rules. We have changed the rules numerous times, even just this session about how we deal with our own council body rules. So I think updating it and being transparent and having a community involved is important. We have had community input on this. It did go through every step of the public process that it was supposed to go through. This was not a floor amendment. This was a piece of legislation. On December the 4th, an email was sent out to all council members asking for recommendations from council staff for this committee. Again, none of this happened in secret. None of this happened overnight. I've taken my time. Could I have made more phone calls? Yes. But just earlier this week on Monday, I was told that everything should happen in committee. And I got point of order because I was asking too many questions in committee and we shouldn't do this on the floor. And now this same person has an issue here. Again, I show up to the meetings. And if others don't, you can call me. Again, I want to thank Councilwoman Harley, who did raise some concerns, and she picked up the phone and called and talked with me earlier today. And I think that is what we need more of here. With that, we can call the vote.
Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilman Owens?
Yes.
Councilwoman Darby?
Yes.
Councilwoman Oliver?
Present.
Councilwoman Harley?
Yes.
Councilwoman Willauer?
Yes.
Councilwoman McCoy?
Yes.
Councilman Johnson?
Yes.
Councilman Field?
Yes.
Councilwoman Bracy?
Yes.
Councilman Hackett?
Yes.
Councilman Spadola?
Yes.
President Congo?
Yes.
11 yeas, 1 present, and 1 absent.
Declared adopted.
Mr. President, I have a resolution to present.
Resolution 26-003, agenda
I move this resolution be received, recorded, and filed and adopted by a yea and nay vote.
Second.
It's been properly moved and second. The resolution be received, recorded, filed, and adopted by a yea and nay vote on the question.
Yeah, so this piece of resolution, it is in favor of Senate Substitute 1 for Senate Bill 57, which is regarding post-conviction remedy based on changes in forensic scientific or technical information. We had an expert come and talk about this in public comment in our last committee, but I strongly believe in making sure that, and I know that SB 51 affirms that accountability includes courage to correct mistakes, right? It strengthens the integrity of our legal system by ensuring the truth remains the standard. So I support this bill because no one should remain incarcerated when new science casts doubts on their conviction. And this piece of legislation will, once passed on the state level, will be able to correct that.
Councilmember Harley.
Yes, thank you, Mr. President. I agree that correcting injustices is always the right thing to do, and I appreciate it. I believe one of our residents spoke about it and did a very good job. I really appreciate the fact that the awareness and what is happening and how it can be corrected, but I do have a question for the sponsor. Councilmember Darby, do we have someone that, Mr. President, I'm asking if I.
Yes, you may.
Okay,
Thank
yeah. Do we have someone that can pick this up and run with it? And do we need to make some calls?
Councilmember Darby.
Yes, so there is it's currently a bill that's being ran in the General Assembly now. So there's support for it, and there are legislators who have picked this up.
Okay. All right, and again, I was saying, so it's moving forward, no calls are necessary from council?
No calls.
Okay, thank you. That's all I have.
I see no other hands raised. Councilmember McCoy.
Yes, can I please be added as a co-sponsor?
Yeah.
Councilmember Harley. Co-sponsor.
Co-sponsor, yeah.
Councilmember Willauer.
I'd like to be added as a co-sponsor.
All right. Sponsor, any final comments before we go to roll? Councilmember Darby.
No final comments.
Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilman Owens?
Yes.
Councilwoman Darby?
Yes.
Councilwoman Oliver?
Yes.
Councilwoman Harley?
Yes.
Councilwoman Willauer?
Yes.
Councilwoman McCoy?
Yes.
Councilman Johnson?
Yes.
Councilman Field?
Yes.
Councilwoman Bracy,
Yes.
Councilman Hackett,
Yes.
Councilman Spadola,
Yes.
President Congo.
Yes.
12 yeas and 1 absent.
Declared adopted.
Mr. President, I have another resolution to present.
Resolution number 26-004, agenda number 0159.
I move this resolution be received, recorded, and filed and adopted by a yea and nay vote.
Second.
It's been properly moved and second the resolution be received, recorded, filed, and adopted by a yea or nay vote on the question.
Yeah, this is pretty much a sister bill. It goes along with SB substitute one for SB 57. This substitute one for SB 58. It pretty much addresses the same thing in regards to post-convictions, limitation on access to DNA testing and evidence. So it's really just the same. Forensic science has updated. We should be able to use it in a very different way to look at post-convictions. Someone's post-conviction shouldn't be final based on old science, and we should really be able to look at access to DNA testing, evidence. So this is just a sister bill to the last piece of legislation. And yes, in Dover, along with the last piece of legislation, there's support from legislators, and it is moving forward.
Councilmember Willauer,
I'd like to be added as a co-sponsor.
Councilmember McCoy,
Same. I'd like to be added as a co-sponsor.
Councilmember Harley.
I would like to be added as a co-sponsor as well. Thank you.
All right, clerk, please call for the roll.
Councilman Owens?
Yes.
Councilwoman Darby?
Yes.
Councilwoman Oliver?
Yes.
Councilwoman Harley?
Yes.
Councilwoman Willauer?
Yes.
Councilwoman McCoy?
Yes.
Councilman Johnson?
Yes.
Councilman Field?
Yes.
Councilwoman Bracy?
Yes.
Councilman Hackett?
Yes.
Councilman Spadola?
Yes.
President Congo.
Yes.
12 yeas and 1 absent.
Declared adopted.
Mr. President, I have a resolution to present.
Resolution 26-005, agenda number 0160.
I move this resolution be received, recorded, and filed and adopted by a yea and nay vote.
Second.
It's been properly moved and second the resolution be received, recorded, filed, and adopted on a yea or nay vote on the question.
Yeah, so this piece of legislation resolution is to amend Wilmington City Charter Section 2101 to create 4-year staggered terms of office for city council commencing with the 2028 election. Within the resolution, it explains how that would break down in 2028 in regards to at the general election of 2028, the offices for the president of council, the 2 most senior council members at large, council districts 1 through 5, 7, shall be elected to fill a 4-year term. The offices for the 2 other council members at large and the other councilmatic districts like 2, 4, 6, and 8 shall be elected for initial 2-year term. Therefore, all terms shall be 4 years continuing going forward. So within the piece of resolution, it breaks down what that would look like if we were able to do that in 2028. So in my final comments, I'll talk about my beliefs in term and staggered elections and the importance of that. So I'll leave it open.
All right, thank you. Councilmember Johnson.
I certainly understand as someone that's worked in elections for a long time, I certainly understand the point and benefit of that. You do have more inherent knowledge. I think with that, it would go along with term limits, probably, if you're going to talk about true reform. That would really help both our local and state governments. My concern, and I know it's brought up during committee, I think is fairness. There are, because some people will be doing presidential years, some people will be doing non-presidential years. Some members would be up during a mayor election. Some people would be up during a non-mayor election. So there's going to be some people actually who would have to technically resign if they had aspirations to be mayor. So it's just really, I think it creates an unfair dynamic in terms of the members. I do understand the public point of it, because I know Philadelphia City Council had a lot of turnover recently. and there are a lot of new members, but unfortunately, that's just part of the process. So, I'm not going to be supporting this piece. I understand the intent, but I'm not supporting this specific piece.
Thank you. Seeing no other hands raised, return to the sponsor for final comment.
Yeah, no, thank you. I think Councilmember Johnson brought up some good points, but I really believe for our city to move forward, what's happening now is just not working. So I do support the adoption of staggered terms for Wilmington City Council because this is about good governance, not politics. When all council seats turn over at the same time, we risk losing institutional knowledge, momentum, continuing on certain issues that matter the most to our residents. Staggered terms ensure that experienced council members remain in place to support new members, maintain oversight, and keep long-term work moving forward. This body is responsible for budgets, legislation, and accountability of city departments. That work should not be disrupted every election cycle. Stability matters, especially when residents expect consistent leadership, not starts and stops. Staggered terms also strengthens public trust. They reduce political instability, support long-range planning, and help ensure that critical initiatives like housing, infrastructure, and public safety are not derailed by sudden wholesale turnover. Many cities across the country use staggered terms because they work. Even here in our county council do staggered terms. So it's about protecting, this reform is not about protecting incumbents, it's about protecting the city of Wilmington and ensuring our government functions effectively for the people we serve. So thank you.
Thank you. Clerk, please call for the roll.
Councilman Owens?
Yes.
Councilwoman Darby?
Yes.
Councilwoman Oliver?
No.
Councilwoman Harley?
No.
Councilwoman Willauer?
No.
Councilwoman McCoy?
No.
Councilman Johnson?
No.
Councilman Field?
No.
Councilwoman Bracy? No. Councilman Hackett?
No.
Councilman Spadola?
No.
President Congo?
Yes.
3 yeas, 9 nays, and 1 absent.
Declare defeated.
Mr. President, I have a resolution to present.
Resolution 26-006, agenda number 0161.
I move this resolution be received, recorded, and filed and adopted by a yea and nay vote.
Second.
It's been properly moved and second the resolution be received, recorded, filed, and adopted by a yea or nay vote on the question.
With my last resolution, it was about staggered terms for the city of Wilmington. I also believe there should be term limits for city council members. This piece of legislation would impose a term limit for city council members of not more than 3 terms in each representative capacity. So council member, I could be a 2nd district person for 12 years, and then I could say, hey, I want to run at large, or I want to run for council president, right? So you're still able to move, but you will have to move into a different representative capacity. So I have my reasonings to supporting it. I'll say it in my closing statements and allow other people to make comment.
Councilmember Johnson.
This is a matter, as I alluded to earlier, I actually do support, and it's really aspirational. I think in reality, we know it's probably not going to pass at the state level. We know it's not going to pass in Congress, but it is aspirational. I don't believe in people dying in the seat. It's something I think is unfortunate. You see it in Congress all the time. People 90 years old in office. It gets to a point where you really, health-wise, you can't move forward and be the most agile you can be. So I definitely support this. I don't know if it'll ever pass in America, but it's worth trying.
Seeing no other, Councilmember Owens.
Yes, just one question and kind of a point of clarity. Do we currently have any term limits in the city of Wilmington for any of our positions?
The mayor. The mayor is the only one who has, which is currently 3 terms they get to serve. So it would match up with the mayor.
Councilmember Harley.
Oh, yes. Thank you, Mr. President. Yes, all executive branches have terms, not legislative branches. As it relates to this particular piece of legislation, I think just like we always say that the community's voice matters and that the community should weigh in, I think that the community should decide when an elected official's term should be up. It's the people that vote elected officials in, and it's the people that, when they feel as though that they should move on, they can make that decision. So I think, again, when we talk about allowing the community to weigh in, I think they should weigh in on when elected officials' time is up for a particular seat. That's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you. See no other hands raised. Return to the sponsor.
Yeah, no, I support term limits for city council because I believe elected office should be a public trust, not a permanent position. And I think that the process of running for office, and sometimes there are some of us who run unimposed, not because there's no one who wants to run. It is a difficult process, and it takes a lot of money and time and capacity to do that. And it just doesn't allow room for other people to participate. So term limits prevent the concentration of power, helps ensure that no single seat becomes entrenched. When leadership turns over regularly, government remains accessible, accountable, and responsive to the people we serve. This also creates real opportunities for new leaders, especially young people, working class residents, and community advocates who are often locked out of local government by long-standing incumbency. Democracy is strongest when more voices have a path to serve. Term limits encourage focus on results over longevity. So I believe in term limits that affirm a simple principle. City council belongs to the people of Wilmington. Regular leadership renewal strengthens trust, transparency, and confidence in our local government. So that's all I have for that one.
Clerk, please call for the roll.
Councilman Owens?
Yes.
Councilwoman Darby?
Yes.
Councilwoman Oliver?
No.
Councilwoman Harley?
No.
Councilwoman Willauer?
Yes.
Councilwoman McCoy?
No.
Councilman Johnson?
Yes.
Councilman Field?
No.
Councilwoman Bracy?
No.
Councilman Hackett?
No.
Councilman Spadola?
No.
President Congo?
Yes.
Mr. President,
Five yeas.
I'm so sorry.
7 nays and 1 absent.
Declare defeated.
Mr. President, I have a resolution to present.
Resolution 26-007.
I move
Agenda
this
number
resolution be
0160.
received, recorded, filed, and adopted by a yea and nay vote.
Second.
It's been properly moved and second the resolution be received, recorded, filed, and adopted by a yea and nay vote on the question.
Yeah, so this piece of resolution is to amend the Wilmington Charter, Section 3300, lowering the minimum age required a mayor from 25 to 18. So I really believe in the 24 to 18 range. They have been blocked out of, and why I support my other piece of legislation. We need new leadership. We need younger people, even younger than myself, even though I think I'm young. And we need new energy for our city. And I think by being able to, and hopefully one day we can get to the point where we can have term limits, we can have staggered, where we can have younger people participate. So I have, in my closing, I will do more explaining to my thoughts to why I support it. So I'll open it up.
All right, seeing no hands raised, sponsor, you may close.
Yeah, so I really believe lowering the minimum age to run from, the next one is mayor and city council from 25 to 18. When you're 18 to 24, you can vote, you work full time, you have kids, you can sign contracts, you could buy a house, you could serve on juries, you can enlist in the military and go fight in the war, right? You could do all of these things, but all of a sudden we're going to use an arbitrary, unnecessary minimum age requirement that's not grounded in evidence, that's not grounded in data, and it demonstrates no public benefits but keeping young people out of local government. And there is no proof that setting the age at 25 results in better governance, stronger leadership, or improved decision making. Age alone is not a measure of competence or readiness, like at all. So I believe if we can trust a 22-year-old to buy a house, have kids, sign contracts, drive on the road with us, why can't they make decisions and why can't they be a part of the decisions that we're making? That's why we don't have young people who participate. Every election, where's the young people? Y'all don't include them in the process. Why would I want to come out and vote? So that is my closing thoughts.
Thank you. Clerk, please call for the roll.
Councilman Owens?
Yes.
Councilwoman Darby?
Yes.
Councilwoman Oliver?
No.
Councilwoman Harley?
No.
Councilwoman Willauer?
No.
Councilwoman McCoy?
No.
Councilman Johnson?
No.
Councilman Field?
No.
Councilwoman Bracy?
No.
Councilman Hackett?
No.
Councilman Spadola?
No.
President Congo?
Yes.
3 yeas, 9 nays, and 1 absent.
Declare defeated.
Mr. President, I have a resolution to present.
Resolution 26-008, agenda number 0163. Whereas
I move this resolution be received, recorded, filed, and adopted by a yea and nay vote.
Second.
It's been properly moved and second the resolution be received, recorded, filed, and adopted by a yea or nay vote on the question.
Yeah, so this one is simply for the mayor. It's pretty much the same thing as council, but it had to be separated. Asking for the age to be lowered to allow young people between 24 and 18 to be able to run for office. Again, same argument, same thought process in regards to Wilmington needs new leadership. Wilmington needs new energy, and what we're doing now isn't working.
Seeing no hands raised, clerk, please call for the roll.
Councilman Hackett.
I'm sorry.
Councilman Hackett.
Councilmember Hackett.
Yeah, thank you, President Congo. I just want to say for this resolution, I think is really important, and I think Councilwoman Darby hits right on the nose. We ask our younger residents to do everything but be a part of the, election process. When it's time to vote, we tell them to come out like no other. But this right here, I think this is something that, we definitely should move forward on, because this is like something like you crawl before you walk. You know what I'm saying? I think the difference between me and the mayor and the city council, at least with, city council, even myself, you get an opportunity to learn how things work when you first walk in and be able to explore different things and be able to see things for the first time on the other side before taking at one of the highest office. So, I agree firmly with this, that, as we do have youth councils to be able to, start that belief. I was a young guy that was representing Stephanie T. Bolden in the 3rd grade. So, it's amazing to be here today and be able to see that. So, I think we definitely should be able to lower this to 18. I think people are graduating today and are extremely brilliant. So, to be able to bring them in new ideas, because at the end of the day, the only thing that remains constant in this world is change. So.
Councilmember Johnson.
This is an interesting debate. Again, I'm more in favor of a lower age for city council, though I don't know if 18 is a sweet spot. I think in more 21, at least you're old enough to, we have to legislate in regards to nightlife and bars. You have to be able to actually go into a bar, and studies do show, again, that the brain is not fully developed, especially in men, until it's that 22 to 25 year age range. So, we can't, we do have great, we have great duties. And even though, somebody can be 60 years old and make poor choices, certainly, but you're more likely to science because the brain is more fully developed to be able to take serious action, because we are entrusted with lives of our residents. Don't forget, during COVID, the city, we had, riots, we had COVID, and we had to have people that had that certain amount of life experience. So I think 21 is there, but 25 I think is a little too high. I would support 21 for city council.
Councilmember Willauer.
Yeah, I just want to thank Councilwoman Darby for bringing this forward. I think that council, there's a range of ages here on council, and I think we learn from each other. And people have different ideas based on their life experience. Maybe you just see things differently when you're 60 than when you're, 30. And when you're 18, 19, you see things differently. There's a lot of young people who live in the city of Wilmington. And I think giving them an opportunity to, have somebody who is 18 plus elected to city council representation is important. So I think this is a great initiative, and I would definitely support it.
Councilmember Hackett.
Yeah, thank you, President. I just want to piggyback off Councilman Johnson and just say, if you feel like 21 is a good age, it's 13 council members, so we're all going to have strengths and weaknesses in different areas, but if you feel that way, I think there's a possibility tonight to even be able to make that amendment to 21. Because I think 18 and 21 still in the same, ballpark to get something done. But I definitely think that it does need to be, lower. And I think council should be, moving towards that. Because like I said, just some great minds that we could be missing out on. And like Councilwoman Darby said earlier, to run for council, it ain't easy. You got to spend a lot of money and a lot of time. So, you're not going to get every young person come out. You're going to get one of those one of a kind that come out that, I don't think we should be passing up on. So.
All right. Well, I do. I'm going to support this, but I guess my concern is I see there may be some more support for this resolution, but if this were to pass, because the way it's set up now is that because the previous resolution didn't pass, so that's saying that we couldn't have any council members who are 18, right? So if we have a mayor that's 18. And for some reason, the council member goes to be the mayor, but he wouldn't be old enough unless I'm not thinking that through thoroughly. Is that do I have it backwards?
Yeah.
Got it back.
I have it backwards? Oh, okay.
This is for council.
But you still got a point there.
This is for the mayor?
Yes.
This is for the mayor, right?
No,
No, this is for the council.
Oh, this
the
is the
mayor
council.
was first, yeah.
Oh,
I
I'm
think
sorry.
I mixed it up.
Oh, okay.
I did say
All right.
mayor. Sorry.
Okay. All right, no problem. All right. Okay.
Mr. President?
Yes.
No, I just want to say, Mr. President, but you do bring a valid point there that both things do kind of have to be aligned here because, but like you said, if you're 18 and you do a 4-year term, by the time you should be, should be 25 or whatever the case may be. I guess that's not the age, but whatever the case may be, I think even if you're running for city council and you are 18 or 21, whatever we decide to do here, and you do a 4-year term and you're not ready to be the mayor because your age, then you just probably have to do another term, until you're ready. But, I think for city council, I think, with 13 people around trying to, protect and advance our city, I think, there should be some more younger audience and younger, somebody being a part of this election process, so I just think that, we need to look at that. And we do all need to be on one accord when something like this is being sent down to the General Assembly so that we understand that, we want the young voices to be a part of this. So.
All right. So this is for council.
This is for council. I said mayor, sorry.
So if we have a council member, if this passes, if we have a council member who is 18 and he or she is council president, and something would have happened to the mayor,
Yep, that's exactly
it doesn't align. So I understand there is more support for this, but it won't. Unfortunately, the first one didn't pass, so like this one wouldn't align unless the other one were to pass in the future. I'm not sure, but Councilmember Darby.
Yeah, I am open and amendable to 21 to that conversation. So I don't know if we can bring it back if I put it to 21 at a later date. And make both at City Council 21 and Mayor 21. I don't know if people would be amendable to that.
Okay.
So, I don't know.
How would you like to move forward?
So we're still on,
Yeah,
Mr.
we're
Clerk?
still on just the council one. I don't think I can amend the
No.
mayor one right now.
No, it's too late, yes.
It's too late for that.
So taking a roll call, or you have more comments about the mayor?
No, I have
one
no
more.
other comments. And
Council.
I think I'll hold it and then I can make amendments. I can make the amendment to this one and then do a 21-year one for the mayor too. Just make them both 21.
Okay. All right, so this legislation will be held.
Where I'm at. Mr. President, I have an ordinance to present and call for the first and second reading.
Give me 1 second.
Okay.
This is ordinance 26-006, agenda number 0171, an ordinance to amend Chapter 2 of the City Code to dissolve the Wilmington Water, Sewer, and Stormwater Citizens Advisory Board.
First reading of the ordinance.
An ordinance to amend Chapter 2 of the City Code to dissolve the Wilmington Water, Sewer, and Stormwater Citizens Advisory Board.
Second reading of the ordinance.
Mr. President, it is Chapter 45. Can I read the titles again?
Yes.
An ordinance to amend Chapter 45 of the City Code to dissolve the Wilmington Water, Sewer, and Stormwater Citizens Advisory Board.
First reading of the ordinance.
An ordinance to amend Chapter 45 of the City Code to dissolve the Wilmington Water, Sewer, and Stormwater Citizens Advisory Board.
Second reading of the ordinance.
Mr. President, I move that be known as the first and second reading of the ordinance and refer it to the Finance and Economic Development Committee.
Second.
It's been properly moved and second that be known as the first and second reading of the ordinance and referred to the Finance and Economic Development Committee.
Mr. President, I have an ordinance to present and call for the first and second reading.
Ordinance number 26-007, agenda number 0172, an ordinance to amend Chapter 2 of the City Code to create an African American History and Cultural Preservation Commission.
First reading of the ordinance.
An ordinance to amend Chapter 2 of the City Code to create an African American History and Cultural Preservation Commission.
Second reading of the ordinance.
Mr. President, I move that be known as the first and second reading of the ordinance and refer it to the Intergovernmental Committee.
Second.
It's been properly moved and second that be known as the first and second reading of the ordinance and referred to the Intergovernmental Committee.
Mr. President, I have an ordinance to present and call for the first and second reading.
Ordinance number 26-008, agenda number 0173, an ordinance to amend Chapters 5 and 34 of the City Code to create an online rental property registry.
First reading of the ordinance.
An ordinance to amend Chapters 5 and 34 of the City Code to create an online rental property registry.
Second reading of the ordinance.
Mr. President, I move that be known as the first and second reading of the ordinance and refer it to the Community Development and Urban Planning Committee.
Second.
It's been properly moved and second that be known as the first and second reading of the ordinance and referred to the Community Development and Urban Planning Committee.
And my final one, Mr. President, I have an ordinance to present and call for the first and second reading.
Ordinance number 26-009, agenda number 0174, an ordinance to amend Chapter 34 of the City Code to create a landlord education and resource awareness program.
First reading of the ordinance.
An ordinance to amend Chapter 34 of the City Code to create a landlord education and resource awareness program.
Mr.
Reading of the ordinance.
Sorry. Mr. President, I move that be known as the first and second reading of the ordinance and refer it to the Community Development and Urban Planning Committee.
Second.
It's been properly moved and second that be known as the first and second reading of the ordinance and referred to the Community Development and Urban Planning Committee. Councilmember Harley.
Yes, Mr. President, I have an ordinance to present and call for the first and second reading.
Ordinance number 26-010, agenda number 0175, an ordinance authorizing the issuance of the city's general obligation bond, supplemental Adams Street Green Infrastructure Project, Series A of 2026 WPCRF, in order to provide the funds necessary for the increased construction costs associated with the installation of 3 bioretention gardens, 1,900 linear feet of stormwater pipe, 16 manholes, and 5 trench drains located in and around the Adams Street courts at 210 North Jackson Street, providing for the sale of the 2026A bond to the Delaware Water Pollution Control Revolving Fund, and authorizing other necessary action.
First reading of the ordinance.
An ordinance authorizing the issuance of the city's general obligation bond, supplemental Adams Street Green Infrastructure Project, Series A of 2026 WPCRF, in order to provide the funds necessary for the increased construction costs associated with the installation of 3 bioretention gardens, 1,900 linear feet of stormwater pipe, 16 manholes, and 5 trench drains located in and around the Adams Street courts at 210 North Jackson Street, providing for the sale of the 2026A bond to the Delaware Water Pollution Control Revolving Fund, and authorizing other necessary action.
Second reading of the ordinance.
Mr. President, I move that it be known as the first and second reading of the ordinance and refer it to the Finance and Economic Development Committee.
Second.
It's been properly moved and second, that be known as the first and second reading of the ordinance, and referred to the Finance and Economic Development Committee.
Mr. President, I have another ordinance to present and call for the first and second reading.
Ordinance number 26-011, agenda number 0176. An ordinance authorizing the issuance of the city's general obligation bond, lead removal phase 4 project, Series A of the 2026 DWSRF, in order to provide the funds necessary for the replacement of approximately 3 to 4 miles of old cast iron water main in the city's water distribution system, providing for the sale of the 2026A bond to the Delaware Drinking Water State Revolving Fund, and authorizing other necessary action.
First reading of the ordinance.
An ordinance authorizing the issuance of the city's general obligation bond, lead removal phase 4 project, Series A of the 2026 DWSRF, in order to provide the funds necessary for the replacement of approximately 3 to 4 miles of old cast iron water main in the city's water distribution system, providing for the sale of the 2026A bond to the Delaware Drinking Water State Revolving Fund, and authorizing other necessary action.
Second reading of the ordinance.
Mr. President, I move that it be known as the first and second reading of the ordinance and refer it to the Finance and Economic Development Committee.
Second.
It's been properly moved and second, that be known as the first and second reading of the ordinance, and referred to the Finance and Economic Development Committee.
Mr. President, I have another ordinance to present and call for the first and second reading.
Ordinance 26-012, agenda number 0177. An ordinance to authorize and approve a multi-year contract retaining Belfont, Lyons, and Schumann, PA, as external auditor for the city of Wilmington.
First reading of the ordinance.
An ordinance to authorize and approve a multi-year contract retaining Belfont, Lyons, and Schumann, PA, as the external auditor for the city of Wilmington.
Second reading of the ordinance.
Mr. President, I move that it be known as the first and second reading of the ordinance and refer it to the Finance and Economic Development Committee.
Second.
It's been properly moved and second, that be known as the first and second reading of the ordinance, and referred to the Finance and Economic Development Committee.
That's all I have, Mr. President.
Thank you. Councilwoman Wallauer.
Mr. President, I have a resolution to present.
Resolution 26-009, agenda number 0178. Whereas page 59 of the Wilmington 2028
I
comprehensive...
move this resolution be received, recorded, and filed, and adopted by a yea and nay vote.
Second.
It's been properly moved and second, the resolution be received, recorded, filed, and adopted by a yea or nay vote on the question.
So this resolution is about the community garden at the Rodney Reservoir, the new Rodney Reservoir Park. And I think a lot of the public comment talked about the situation, which is that about 15 years ago, the community got together, petitioned the city to use what was then vacant land at the old Rodney Reservoir, and built this community garden by hand, including building the beds, the garden beds, and bringing dirt and filling the beds and creating this 62-bed community garden. And then when the Rodney Reservoir Park was decided by the city to create the new park at the old Rodney Reservoir, the garden was demolished as part of the demolition to build a new park. And this resolution is just asking the city to move forward. 20 of the 61 beds that were there before were built. And the park design called for the whole 62 beds to be rebuilt, but only 20 have been built. And so a lot of gardeners, there's just a lot of demand for these garden beds. a lot of enthusiasm for the whole garden to come back. And so this resolution is just saying that council encourages the city of Wilmington to build all 62 garden beds. And, just to answer some questions, if it's an issue of money or resources, the community has come up with the resources to, for the materials already and offered them to the city. And also, there's a lot of volunteers who are out there like ready. I think some of them are in this room ready and, eager to help build these garden beds if that's what's needed.
Thank you. I'd like to be added as a co-sponsor. And I do have a question. Do we know why the rest of the bids haven't been built yet? Has the administration answered that, or?
I don't know like the exact reason. There have been numerous meetings with different parts of the administration that I've been part of, and I think that it's just a question of the city, didn't build them as part of the restoration of the park, and now is like, you know what, we're just going to run this thing with 20 beds, see how it goes, and we'll build the rest of the beds later. So it's really, the city has never said they object to having the whole garden come back. It's just a timing thing, and this resolution is just about like, let's build the whole thing now. Just because when you have 20 beds and there's 100 plus people that want them, it just kind of creates conflict. Some people get them, other people don't get them. The area where these beds would be built is there, so the community's point is just like, let's do this now.
All right, thank you. Councilmember Johnson, Councilmember McCoy, then Councilmember Bracy.
From what I know about just the history, I think there is a reason from the administration as to why the additional beds aren't built. Again, I'm supportive of the beds being built. I just think we need to probably meet with the administration and figure out how we can get from point A to point B. The most disappointing and frustrating thing for community would be we pass this, the administration is still against it, and again, like the community would be like, what's going on? So that's all I want to make sure that we can figure out. Okay, meet with Melody Phillips, figure out, with the parks team what they need to make it happen. So that's all. I'm definitely supportive of it. I'm supportive of gardening. We just need to figure out how to actually get it to happen.
Thank you. Councilmember McCoy, Councilmember Bracy, then Councilman Spadola.
Okay, thank you. Thank you to Councilwoman Weiler for basically stating my question, which was about the funding. So that was actually already put out the window. I do have another question, though. The concern is you had so many representatives that I've actually seen, who are in love with the gardening, and you listed 125. What type of fair process will you go about trying to fill these other beds that it doesn't seem like, only the last people get a chance to get a bed, and rather than inviting new people to join?
Councilmember Willauer.
Oh, thank you, Councilwoman McCoy, for the question. I mean, that's really an operations question. And as you know, Westside Grows, ran the garden for a long time. And the system at that time was a wait list. So, the call goes out, would anybody like a bed? And then people get a chance to respond, and it's kind of first come, first serve. But that was then, and this is now. And this is going to be a new garden. This is going to be a new community garden that is run, that the land is owned by the Department of Parks and Rec now. It was owned by the Department of Public Works. And so I think that the Department of Parks and Rec is going to come up with the system. But, I'm confident that they're going to be paying attention to those issues of fairness, and that, we really, the goal is just to make it so that as many people who want to grow their own food have a place to garden. And some of those logistic things, I know the community has said, we've done this before. We're happy to kind of provide the model and things like that. But, those details still have to be worked out.
Okay. If I may follow.
Yes.
Okay. You do not have to worry. I do not want to bet. I said, and I told you I would support it as long as I didn't have to do dirt day anymore.
Councilmember Bracy, followed by Councilmember Spadola.
Thank you. So I reached out to the administration to find out what the holdup was, because similar to what Councilman Johnson said, this is more symbolic than it is anything else. And so I don't want to give false hope to the community members that by passing a resolution that's going to move anything or change anything. So I asked the question, like, what's the holdup? And Councilwoman Willauer alluded to it. The Department of Parks and Rec will now run this park as a city park, and they are still working through their SOPs and what the operations will actually look like. So instead of building everything out to spec, they are waiting until they have a complete plan, and then, from what I was told, that they would complete the work. So it's not that the administration isn't going to complete the work and not complete the beds. They're just trying to make sure that there is a clear process with the Department of Parks and Rec on how this is going to be managed and how it's going to be run. And I also was told that there are pending meetings with other community members and other groups that are happening in the near future. So the mayor's office is actively working on this, and Director Phillips. So it's delayed right now, and I know the community is ready for it to happen now, but the administration isn't saying no. They're just saying, give us a minute. So I just want to make sure that that's clear to the community, because if we pass this today, it really doesn't mean anything as it relates to the process that the administration is going to continue.
Thank you. Councilmember Spadola, followed by Councilmember Field and Councilmember Oliver.
Thank you, Council President. Please add me as a co-sponsor, and to the community members there and to Councilmember Willauer. I'm happy to be involved as you wish with any meetings to help make this happen going forward. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember Field, then Councilmember Oliver.
I want to echo Councilmember Bracey's comments. I think everybody here, I think the idea of the beds is great, but I would like to see more conversations held internally with the administration to get to the goal that everybody wants to achieve. And, I think Councilmember Bracey mentioned not giving false hope based on the vote of this resolution, because it will not be the deciding factor and it will be very symbolic. So I would just encourage more conversations and more discussions with the administration, because I heard some reasons why they're doing what they're doing. And so let's just have more talk behind the scenes and try and get to the outcome that is desirable for everybody.
Councilmember Oliver, followed by Councilmember Harley.
Thank you, Mr. President. I remember West End used to run these gardens.
Councilmember Oliver, if you can speak into your mic, please.
I was going to say, I think this is a great project. I remember West End used to run garden for years up there. But I have a small green thumb also. I'm in support of this, but I'm going to vote present because I have a conflict of interest.
Thank you, Councilmember Harley, followed by Councilmember Owens.
Thank you, Mr. President. First of all, I want to thank Councilmember Willauer for presenting this resolution. I also want to commend the community for their unity. I absolutely loved the spirit of the residents and their enthusiasm. I also want to thank the different residents that share the benefits of a community garden, and I agree 100%. I support composting, I support gardening, and I just absolutely just love this idea. Given what Councilmember Bracey said, I have a question for the sponsor, Mr. President.
Sure.
Councilmember Willauer, what is your expectation of this getting implemented if this got voted on tonight? Because as it has already been mentioned, a number of us support this. We want to see it happen, but at the same time, I don't want to support it and then the expectation is different. So what is your expectation?
Councilmember Willauer.
Yeah, I mean, part of what we do, on council is residents come to us about what they care about and what's important to them. And of course, the administration has they're in a different place. Like they're, they may be thinking about things one way, but I think as council members, we don't always have to think, we can know that the community thinks about things a different way. So, I just wanted to point to Councilwoman Bracy. I also have talked to the administration like numerous times, and it's based on those conversations. I really think this can be done. I think that the administration maybe needs a push. So to me, this resolution is not. It's not telling the community, oh yeah, this is going to get done. It's telling the community, yeah, the council supports you in your goal of getting this done. Ultimately, the work has to be done by the administration, but we're standing with the community here and saying, like, let's get this project done this year for these reasons. It was part of the reconstruction of the park. There's a really experienced group of people ready to help with any operational questions. I think, as Councilwoman Oliver said, West End, ran this garden for like 15 years. And it's just something that I'm confident the city could get done. And what this resolution is not a promise it's going to get done. It's just saying to the community that we, council, hear you and we, stand with you and urge the city to do everything it can to get this done.
Thank you. And the one thing that I left out was time frame. That's really what I should have said. What's the expectation of the time frame? Are you thinking next month, 2 months, 3 months? That's what I meant to actually time frame.
Mr. President?
Yes.
The goal is to get the garden built this year. So gardening, planting is March, April. The goal is to get the garden built, in time for March, April planting. And just to be clear, like the community has done this before, you can buy the wood from the mushroom farm. They have wood out there that's solid. That's where the garden beds wood was bought from before. The dirt has been sourced from local sources before. So I know it seems kind of quick, but the community has offered to just do what they do and build these garden beds and get it done in time for this year.
Okay. So I'm in support.
Councilmember Harley.
Oh, thank you, Mr. President. I'm in support of this legislation, and I'm also very interested in the collaboration as well. So I'm in support. I'm going to support it and vote on it tonight. Having had this discussion, this open discussion, in terms of, again, having the residents to come out and express their sentiments, and then also understanding the administrations there with the process. So I support it, and so I hope that things move forward rather quickly. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you. Councilmember Owens, followed by Councilmember Darby, and then we'll go to our second round.
Thank you, Council President. I already co-sponsored this, and again, I want to say thank you to Councilwoman Wilhauer for bringing this forward, and thank you to all the community residents, even residents in my district who have reached out in support of this. In my day job, I'm the national co-chair for food justice for the Urban League, and this is just another way to build community cohesion and engagement, as well as bringing healthy food to our tables. Where the grocery stores right now, it's expensive to get a cucumber, a pepper, or something like that. So again, to be able to grow this right in pretty much our backyards, that is good. And I hope that this is just a first step. I hope that it starts with building these additional 42 beds over here in your district, where you invited me to come over and view as y'all were planning over there last year. But then also we can expand this throughout the city. Senator Darius Brown, my senator, has been working diligently on getting funds from the state as well, too, through his Fresh Grocer initiative, to make sure that we have local fresh-grown fruits and vegetables coming to our tables and access to our communities. The vast majority of the city of Wilmington sits in a food desert. So again, instead of having to go to the dollar store to get collard greens or canned corn, we could get some good vegetables right from our locally grown spots right here in Wilmington. So I will be supporting this, and I hope everyone else does too.
Thank you. Councilmember Darby.
Yes, I would like to, one, be added as a co-sponsor, and then thank you to the sponsor for this piece of resolution. And one thing I do want to say is, I know it was said that this is just symbolic, but actually resolutions are actually strategic, right? It's putting a public action into a record, right? That you cared about something the community wanted, right? And it urges the administration to pay attention and look when you highlight things. So don't ever just think something is symbolic. It's actually strategic, and resolutions matter.
Thank you. Councilmember Johnson, have you already spoke to this?
This is second.
Okay, Councilman, I'm second, please. Councilmember Hackett.
Yeah, thank you, President. I just want to note, kind of similar to what Darby said. I think when we was talking about a lot of the reassessment things, and Councilwoman Willauer, was sending in resolutions, and most was possibly thinking that nothing was going to happen. And
Yep.
from her efforts and the things that she moved forward, she's consistently been on top of sending in key matters and resolutions that have been making some movement. So I just want to thank her for that. And also for bringing this to the table. I want to be added as a co-sponsor. I think this is going to continue the great work. And second, what Colby says, the grocery store is getting everly more expensive for our residents. And, we need to continue to try to find ways to help them as much as we can. I think this is one step closer.
Thank you. Councilmember Spadola, then Councilmember Johnson.
Thank you, Council President Congo. I agree with the strategy part here as well. And I also think that I 100% trust the council members that were speaking on behalf of the administration, what they were saying. But I think the administration should be communicating directly. They saw the agenda. They knew this was on there. If they wanted to communicate something, I think they should have put it in writing to us, as well as to the residents who are concerned about this. So what I have is, what council member Willhauer is putting forth and the residents that spoke. And so I look forward to supporting it. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Johnson.
Yes, I wanted to be added as a co-sponsor, as this is part of my district as well, and many residents use the garden. Again, I've seen the magic that it's doing. Again, I just think we should focus on, we are going to budget time. I know Councilwoman Harley is getting rested and ready. I think there's some way this can be kind of dovetailed into the budget. And have that dialogue with Director Phillips, because she is receptive. She picks up the phone all the time. She talks about all the parks on the west side with me. So I think the dialogue should happen. So I look forward to working with Councilwoman Willauer and making it happen.
Thank you. Councilmember Oliver.
Yes. I'd just like to say, I didn't get a chance to say that. I think this is a great project. We have an urban farm in the 3rd District, Eric Robertson, and during the summertime, there is a lot of vegetables and things similar to this. So, as I stated, I do support this resolution. As I stated, I just have a conflict, but that's why I stay here, because I wanted to say that I think it's a good thing.
Thank you. Councilmember Bracy.
Thank you, Mr. President. I just wanted to make a comment. One, to address something that my at-large colleague just said in reference to my previous comments. I am in no way, shape, or form speaking on behalf or for the administration. I spoke to them because I had a question, not because I'm here representing them, because I don't represent them. They represent themselves. So I just want to make sure that that's clear and on the record. I wanted to make sure, I never said I didn't support this, because I actually do. I think it's great. I think what's happening with the Rodney Reservoir is amazing. I want to see the beds. I want to see us having this citywide. I just was relaying my conversation, which was that they're working on this now, and that Director Phillips is tasked with coming up with SOPs. That's it, and that's all. Thank you.
Thank you. Seeing no other hands raised, I will. Councilmember Spadola.
Thank you. Just to respond to my dear colleague, my sentiments were more with frustration at recent communication within the administration and not putting stuff out, especially in regards to the snowfall. So it wasn't a reflection of you, just to be clear.
Thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Willauer.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'd like to call for the roll.
Clerk, please call for the roll.
Councilman Owens,
Yes.
Councilwoman Darby?
Yes.
Ooh, sorry, hold on. Darby. Councilwoman Oliver?
Present.
Councilwoman Harley?
Yes.
Councilwoman Willauer?
Yes.
Councilwoman McCoy?
Yes.
Councilman Johnson?
Yes.
Councilman Field?
Yes.
Councilwoman Bracy?
Yes.
Councilman Hackett?
Yes.
Councilman Spadola?
Yes.
President Congo?
Yes.
11 yeas, 1 present, and 1 absent.
Declared adopted.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Councilmember McCoy?
Mr. President, I have an ordinance to present and call for the first and second reading.
Ordinance number 26-013, agenda number 0179, an ordinance to authorize and approve a 1-year extension of contract 26011 LI, vacant property services between the City of Wilmington and RA Contractors LLC.
First reading of the ordinance.
An ordinance to authorize and approve a 1-year extension of contract 26011 LI, vacant property services between the City of Wilmington and RA Contractors LLC.
Second reading of the ordinance.
Mr. President, I move that be known as the first and second reading of the ordinance and refer to the Community Development and Urban Planning Committee.
Second.
It's been properly moved and second that be known as the first and second reading of the ordinance and refer to the Finance and Economic Development Committee. Councilmember Bracy.
Last one, Mr. President. Mr. President, I have a resolution to present.
Resolution 26-010, agenda number 0180. Whereas City Council enacted the provisions set forth in Chapter 2, Article 5, Division 6 of the City Code constituting the city ethics requirements, with the provisions thereof paralleling the provisions of.
I move this resolution be received, recorded, and filed and adopted by a yea and nay vote.
Second.
It's been properly moved and second the resolution be received, recorded, filed, and adopted by yea or nay vote on the question.
Mr. President, this resolution is being presented by the administration to appoint Robert Katzenstein and James McLean to serve a 4-year term on the commission, the Ethics Commission. They are replacing Judge Tolliver and Melvin Phillips, who were reappointed to the commission to serve a 2nd term, and now they are nearing the end of their term. So we're just appointing 2 more members to the Ethics Commission.
Councilmember Darby.
Yes, I have a question about the administration's communication to City Council about these 2 individuals. What did that look like?
Councilmember Bracy.
So that is a good question, and I am not exactly sure if they sent out the information. I did when I was asked if I could sponsor this legislation. I asked for the information on the 2 gentlemen. But I don't know if it was shared with the rest of council, which would be obviously an oversight on my part as the sponsor. And I'm willing to hold this if we want to make sure that we get the information and share it. I don't have a problem with that. But
Councilmember Darby.
Yes. No. I'm not saying to hold it or anything. I think my frustration, as another council person has pointed out, is always the administration's communication to City Council on pretty much almost everything. But just their communication to us. So they just send a resolution down with no conversation. I don't know these 2 people. And it's their responsibility if they want to ask us to do something to give us more information. So you can hold it. I'm probably going to be a no or present, honestly. Mm-hmm. I don't know these 2 people, so, and the administration doesn't communicate.
Thank you. Councilmember Oliver.
Thank you, Mr. President. I did inquire about Mr. Robert, and I do know Mr. James. I just want to say I did make contact myself and ask some questions. So I do know James Jr. and I asked them about Mr. Rob, so I did my own homework.
Mr. President?
Yes, Councilmember Bracy.
Actually, the administration spoke to, I just had to remind myself, the administration spoke to both nominees at the last Education, Youth, and Families Committee meeting.
Okay.
Javier Horseman, the mayor's director of special projects, came to speak to both.
Thank you. Councilmember Hackett.
Yeah, I know. This is. I just want to stay kind of similar to what Councilman Owens was kind of going through earlier. Maybe if there's just a possibility that we could be sent, the resumes on people that they want us to be able to vote on if we're gonna, for the resolution. And I think that's what we have to probably talk about online as far as just making sure that all the standard practices are all the same and aligned with what this council would like to see.
Thank you. See no other hands raised. Turn to the sponsor.
You call for the vote, sir.
Clerk, please call for the roll.
Councilman Owens?
Yes.
Councilwoman Darby?
Present.
Councilwoman Oliver?
Yes.
Councilwoman Harley?
Yes.
Councilwoman Willauer?
Yes.
Councilwoman McCoy?
Yes.
Councilman Johnson?
Yes.
Councilman Field?
Yes.
Councilwoman Bracy?
Yes.
Councilman Hackett?
Yes.
Councilman Spadola?
Yes.
President Congo?
Yes.
11 yeas, 1 present, and 1 absent.
Declared adopted. At this time, we will move to petitions and communications. Councilmember Owens.
I just want to say happy Black History Month to all residents of the city of Wilmington. Hopefully you take this time to educate yourself on the benefits African Americans have left us here in this city, but also throughout this nation. While we may not have chosen to originally come here, we are intertwined with every level of government, of every level of our inventions, our culture, our beauty. So again, just take the time to celebrate one another and come together and work together during this time. That's it.
Thank you. Councilmember Darby.
I have nothing for tonight.
Thank you. Councilmember Oliver.
Thank you, Mr. President. I have announcement, community garden workshop. Speaking of gardens, it's funny. It's community garden workshop this Saturday, the 7th, located at Central Baptist Church, and Wednesday, February 25th at 5:30. There's another garden workshop. And Saturday, this Saturday, the YMCA will be having their annual Black History event that they have every year with Newcastle County. And there is numerous events going on this year. And I also like to say Black History Month. Thank you. May I be excused?
Sure.
Thanks.
Councilmember Harley.
Yes, thank you, Mr. President. I just want to say happy Black History Month to everyone. There are a number of activities and events that are going on this particular month. There's going to be a film on Wednesday, February the 11th, and it's called Punch 9 for Harold Washington, who was Chicago's first Black mayor, elected in 1983. That's going to be held down at the Chancery at 6 o'clock. They're going to have a happy hour, and the film starts at 7. I think it's going to be a great opportunity, not only for us as elected officials to consider going down to interact and mingle, but definitely to watch the film, because I think there's going to be a lot of learnings as it relates to being African American elected official. So again, it is February the 11th, Wednesday, February the 11th at the Chancery. Happy hour starts at 6 and the film starts at 7. That's all I have, Mr. President.
Thank you. Councilmember Willauer.
Thank you, Mr. President. I just wanted to remind everybody that next week, the Department of Parks and Recreation is hosting a spelling bee. And it's on the 12th, which is next Thursday. It will start at 5:30. And it's going to be at the Delta campus here in Wilmington. So I think all are invited. You can find out more about that online. And, everybody is welcome. I think it's children from in grades 3 through 5. But everybody is welcome to come out and, compete for being Wilmington's best speller. That's all I have, Mr. President.
Thank you. Going to return back to Council Member Oliver.
Thank you, Mr. President. I forgot to mention that there will be discussion about the snow removal concerns at the Public Works Committee on the 23rd. So if anyone is interested and they have any concerns regarding the snow removal, or if your street is still snowed in, please call 311. I'd like to thank the president for putting that on his page, because a lot of people was telling me they were glad that you told everybody to call 311. So if you have any concerns, call 311. But on the 23rd, at the Public Works Committee, we will be discussing the snow removal. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember McCoy.
Thank you, Mr. President. So on that note, what Councilman Oliver just stated, I just want to say thank you to Public Works and the other contractors that are out there, because they finally reached the 6th district and they are removing snow. Praise his holy name. Anyway. Holy. Also, so there are some things happening in the 6th district. I would like to welcome once again my council colleague Kobe Owens is going to be from a Mel's perspective on Saturday. So he will be at the MSK Center. There is an invite only. It's basically different men and their perspective, and they're going to be talking to a group of our teens. So hopefully I get a chance to come wave at you and let you go ahead and fill all that knowledge to our teenagers in the area. But then after that, because it's like two things happening that day, there actually is a capital campaign launch for MSK. So that's going to be on Saturday. It's from 2 to 4 p.m. We need help because we need to purchase the center. So I invite everyone to come out. Please come and see what we're doing. The MSK has been in the district for 3 years. The building has been there for a long time. It has provided recreation, but we finally got a nonprofit who has the skills to really develop programming and bring the kids in, and we want to make certain that we don't lose our center. So we want everybody to come out and support. And I know that probably a lot of people have come around for the MLK Day, but we're doing a lot more than just the march and those celebrations. So please come out. That's going to be Saturday, the February 7th from 2 to 4 p.m. Also, I actually have been asked to come to the YMCA on Walnut Street. They're having a Black History event Saturday. I got to be there Saturday morning. You didn't announce it? Yes, you did. Okay, good. So I'm going to be there. I'm going to be there early. I don't like it. Oh, I'm so sorry. I said, because I can't even find anything on it, but I know that I'm going to be there. And my boss told me I had to be there. So, so I look forward to this because this is a big deal. And she's known quite a few influential people in Delaware and trying to bring those people together and get a chance to learn more about, the history, not only just Black history, but specifically Black history in Delaware. That's a big deal. So I look forward. Saturday is going to be a busy day.
Thank you. Council Member Johnson.
And I believe Councilwoman McCoy forgot Monday's Public Safety Committee. So we have that. There are some important pieces on the agenda, especially there's one regarding smoke shops in our neighborhood. So please come out and learn more about those items. And then, that's all I have.
Thank you. Councilmember Field.
Nothing tonight, Mr. President.
Thank you. Councilmember Bracy.
Nothing tonight.
Thank you. Councilmember Hackett.
Yeah, I'm not going to let Councilwoman McCoy go just that easy. Happy belated birthday to Councilwoman McCoy. I'm not there, so somebody need to start singing.
Double nickel.
That's pretty much it. Just wanted to say happy birthday to Councilwoman McCoy. Also, we're getting ready to go into budget season. So, I just tell all our council members and everybody else in the city of Wilmington that, you know, our council, we need to dream big for our residents. You know, I know a lot of times we talk about being fiscal responsible, you know, but our residents, without the residents, the city doesn't operate. So we need to continue to find ways to hope to make sure that our residents are striving in the city. So just want to put that in everybody's back of their ear. Every meeting, I'm going to continue to say that as we go through the budget hearing, because the residents is looking for us to hold it down for them, for sure. So,
Thank you. Council Member Spadola. He's not there anymore. Oh, okay. Just in closing, I want to thank everyone who joined us this evening, everyone who came in council chambers, those who spoke during public comment. Thank you so much. Those of you who are still with us virtually, we also appreciate you. Again, if there's anything that any of us can do from City Council to help you in any way, please call us at 302-576-2140, and that is 302-576-2140. Councilmember Oliver, what time does that Public Works meeting start on the 23rd?
5 o'clock.
Is it 5 o'clock?
I'm sorry, I didn't
Okay.
say the time. Yeah, my fault. The
5 o'clock.
23rd at 5 o'clock. My
23rd
fault. I
at
didn't
5
say the
o'clock. So
time.
definitely want to encourage anyone who has any concerns around snow removal you can come to the meeting and voice your concerns, give any advice. You can also listen virtually. You can give public comment virtually. I do want to thank Public Works for the great job that they did. I know that a lot of residents are very frustrated with the whole process, but I think that we need to be able to learn from it. So that's why I'm just asking the community to come out and just maybe give their concerns, and we can kind of brainstorm so that if that ever happens again, we can just do a better job for our residents. Again, not trying to knock or slight any efforts that were taken, but there was a lot of frustration, and I probably got around 400 messages about people who were just frustrated about snow removal in their area. So I just want us to be able to do a better job next time as a government. And with that, I will accept a motion to adjourn.
So move.
Second.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. Thank you, everyone.